Are you an agency owner or a consultant making 30 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand a month or more? If you are, then please pay attention because I'm about to tell you how I went from being in your position, making 30 grand a month, overworked, in chaos, to scaling client acquisition.io past $500,000 in a single month. Okay. So, and by the way, this story is probably an amazing story because sometimes I think about it before going to bed and it makes me feel good. So, it feels like a movie actually. So in 2020, I was working at a job, right? Regular 9 to 5, making 30 grand a year at 22, I believe, 21. And I was spending every paycheck that I had to buy online courses. 9 months in, I still had no clients with my agency, and I decided that it was time for me to go all in with the business if I had to see results. I've never seen anyone succeed without going all in into something. So I decided to give my resignation letter and quit. A few months in, I got my first client. Yay, it was exciting. But uh, 3 months after starting that advertising agency, I decided to switch to an appointment setting agency, helping other agency owners and other service-based business owners, mostly those who sell high ticket, fill up their calendars with appointments. And 4 months in, I scaled it to 30K per month. And although I was making as much money as I was making a year in a single month, and in the eyes of most people, I was successful. Inside myself, I didn't feel accomplished because I was looking at these influencers making millions and millions of dollars every single year, sometimes every single month, and I couldn't understand how they were doing it because I was here working more than they were, and I couldn't fathom scaling the chaos that I was running with the appointment setting agency to 300 grand profit per month. So what I decided to do is I started learning these models. I looked at these guys who were selling information products, program based models, and I was like, okay, cool, they have more scalability. And I would look at the traditional way of scaling an agency, which is hire more people as you get more clients. And I looked at both these models and I was like, well, I don't want to hire hundreds and hundreds of employees, and I don't have the brand equity to be able to sell a course or a program. So what I decided to do is I decided to take the pros from this model, which is the ability to sell done for you, which is the easiest thing you can sell, and the leverage the scalability of selling kind of like something that is based on code and media. And I decided to create a company called Client Acquisition.io, right? And instead of doing done for you appointment setting for people, we would actually build and release sales and appointment setting infrastructure within the business. We would build it for them, right? What that allowed us to do is it allowed us to do leverage the done for you aspect, but also leverage the ability to sell, to document our protocols and our SOPs with content, right? So we had both worlds we could sell at scale, and that allowed me to scale client acquisition.io. In January 2022, we did, I think, 60K per month. December of that same year, I generated over 600 grand in a single month, which is ridiculous, right? At least it was ridiculous at that time. It was super special because I never fathomed being able to scale this company this fast, but I did it, right? Now, I wanted to share with you the 5 lessons that I got from scaling this business, okay? Because I've been in your shoes. I quit my job. I went through the courses. I couldn't see success, and then I built something successful, but I was still, discontent with my success. So I leveraged this new model, which is the 7-figure leverage consultant model. That's what I decided to call this model. And I spent 3 hours with hundreds and hundreds of people on a webinar breaking down the 5 lessons that I got from scaling. Okay, these are the exact 5 lessons that I had to understand in order for me to know how to build this company and to be able to scale it. If you are interested in scaling your company and generating more money than you know what to do with, and actually create freedom, not just financial freedom, not just time freedom, but the ability for you to express yourself. When I say expression, I'll actually be covering this in the Webby, but I mean the ability to express yourself fully with just because a law protects your ability to express yourself does not mean you actually have the capacity and the capability to express yourself. For me, I like to create wealth because it allows me to be exactly who I want to be. Okay. If you want to keep watching this video, then you'll get to start watching a 3-hour webinar where I go in depth with all this stuff that helped me out. Or you can just click the link below and register, and you'll be able to watch the whole thing whenever you're free. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. But enjoy, guys. Click the link below. Bye-bye.
Who's ready? I think I'm ready. You ready, Esteban? Let's go. Can you guys please go and put your camera on, unless you're at church? If you're at church, I mean, would you be listening to this if you're at church? That would be crazy. I wouldn't suggest this. Make sure you just turn off and come back to it later. You're at church right now? Damn, Daniel, that's crazy. Okay, God is with us right now. So this is church too. If you want it to be that. Driving to church, can't miss this. Holy, but yeah, guys, get on camera so that, you know, if you're talking, if you know, I just want to know who's here, right? It's pretty bad to just look at names. It's hard to remember a name, right? So, just to give you guys a little bit of context before I start, today's presentation is not like the ones that I normally do. If you guys have participated in any of the last few webbies that I've done, I mainly did them around how to, like, more tactical stuff, like, oh, how do you solve this, you know, appointment setting problem? Oh, how do you, you know, maybe create content? Or why is it important to start now producing content? How do you build sales assets? Things like that. For today's presentation and training, it's not about that. Instead of what I want to focus on is show you guys a model that I've leveraged to go from doing okay, doing better, doing good, doing really well compared to where I was coming from, to doing life. I think right now I'm doing life. I'm not really I'm in a stage of my life where, like, it's just living is a priority. Now, living is working, but I'm at a stage in my life where I'm confident in my ability to take care of myself and to take care of anyone that I love, right? And it's through this model that I'm about to present. So this will mainly heavily be something that can be applied by people who are already doing okay, who want to be doing better, okay? So this is not, I'm not going to show you how to go from 0 to 10K a month. I'm sorry. But eventually this can be beneficial for you if you ever want to transition from making multiple 6 figures a year to making multiple 6 figures per month. Okay. So, yeah, I'm excited. Let's go crazy. So, let's get started. So, today's presentation is about taking the hundreds to 100 mil using the 7-figure leverage consultant model. What is the outcome of this training? It's really simple. I want to walk you through the evolution that I went through. So in 2020, I made 20K. Oh, no, I made $12,000 from running an online business, right? I was still working a 9 to 5, right? Up until July. So if you guys can see here, I created my Stripe account in 2019 till, I would say, here is what, almost near September. I had not made a single sale, and I collected 4K here. And I went through a little bit, you know, I mean, I went broke a little bit on the biz, and I came back up with more of like this offer around appointment setting. And then in January 20, so essentially from here to here, I made 12 grand. In like the last 3-4 months of the year, I made 12K. The following year, so it gets a little bit crazier. You see, this is like a heartbeat. The more successful you get, the faster your heart beats. It just matches Stripe. So in that year, I think we did over 400 grand, which was insane to me. It was crazy, right? So 2021, we did all right. But things got crazier in 2022. In 2022, later that year, we collected over $1 million in 90 days. So this was from October to December. Now, if you're still in this stage, I don't, whatever you're going to hear me say today, I don't want you to think you can go from here to this stage. I think it's best if you're already at this stage so you can actually understand how you go from here to here, right? But I'm going to walk you guys through everything. So yeah, so this is literally my case study. This is what I'm about to do today. I'm about to walk you my case study. I'm not about to show you how I scale short form content agencies, how I scale appointment setting agencies, how I scale this. No, I'm about to walk you guys through my journey. Okay. And I hope you guys will find it helpful. So also, Belle, can you send an email to our list in 30 minutes, just getting everybody to show up, and just send them the Zoom link, and let's fill this up. Especially the people who also signed up on who have registered. So let's get into it. So going through this evolution has changed my life. I believe it can change yours. And kind of like to show you guys what life has become. So this summer we have our second client retreat. I've rented a few villas in Marbella, Spain. We're going back to Marbella, Spain, because it's the place where you get the type of villas that you get there for the price. I mean, it's not cheap, but for the size and for the views, it's pretty worth it, right? So I'm spending like 10K a night just on accommodations for my team, my clients, and I. And we're going to just live a little bit, work a little bit, and also do a mastermind there. So at the end of this thing, you also get to see I have something pretty cool for some of you guys who will stay till the end. And I also just moved into this penthouse, right? For those who have seen my last webinars, you guys knew I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment condo. So I was, I didn't need to move into a penthouse, but this guy actually bought it for his son to go to school. And I found it disrespectful that someone else can buy his son a $2.7 million penthouse just for him to go to university. And I'm not going to let him disrespect me like that. So I thought it was only right for me to get it. And to also level up, like I think a lot of you guys will get to a stage. So whatever you accept, whatever you tolerate is what you get in life. So this guy has figured out how to get his son $2.7 million apartment condo. And some people tolerate, like some people will see that and just, they'll see it and not really get frustrated, right? This is not a primary residence. This is literally, hey son, you're going to school? Oh, okay. Let me find the best neighborhood in Montreal where there's only like people in their retirement. And let me get you the last penthouse or the second floor of the building, or the last, almost second to last floor building. And let me just give it to you, right? For me, when I hear that, I'm like, oh my God, I need to work harder, because if I'm afraid to afford this for myself and someone else is just buying this for his kid to go to school, what am I doing in life? Like, it's good for me to say that I'm doing better than anyone that I know, but there is levels to this shit. And you guys need to take it seriously. A lot of people on this call making 20K, 30K, 50K, even 100K a month, even 150K a month. And you guys think you're the king of all kings. Bro, like, get to sleep early. You're still broke, okay? That's one thing that I want you to understand. Now, for those who don't know, I was actually born in Rwanda, right? So this was my grandpa and my grandma on my mother's side. The home in the back is where my grandpa gave my grandma the babies, right? So I just wanted to show you guys that it's not that I come from wealth. I don't come from billions, but I'm sure that people who are going to come from me are going to come from billions, but that's another story. But so, I've gone from this last summer, I actually went to see my grandpa. My grandma died in 2014, but my grandpa is still alive. I don't know. It's maybe because he had 16 kids. I think he had like 11 kids. I don't know. A lot of kids. So I think he has the stamina to survive. And this is me with my brothers. I have 3 older brothers. This is my uncle. This is where I was born in Rwanda. And yeah, so this is where I come from right now. This summer, I not last summer, like a few months ago, I bought my dad a Rolex. He's doing good. He's okay, but he's not his I think he's still living in his scarcity mind, because he comes from this, right? This is where his parents made him. So even though he's doing good in life, has a bunch of properties, probably is worth over seven figures, he's worth millions, but he's never really, you know, afforded himself an expensive thing, right? So I know a lot of people online in the position that I'm in, like, have a bunch of Rolexes, but for me, I have nothing to prove. I don't really care about watches, but for me, I wanted to kind of like show him a sign of gratitude, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for the fact that he worked hard. So I just need to make sure that whatever room he steps in, that people know that he has a car on his wrist. Okay. So that's that. And for the first time ever, I feel confident in my ability to fully express my love to those that I love. It's easy to say that you love someone, but being able to express your love in the real world can only be done by a tiny percentage of Earth's population. The hundreds to 100 mil Webby's purpose is to show you the model you need to leverage to experience real freedom. Not just time freedom, not just financial freedom, but freedom of expression. Most people think that they have freedom of expression because there is a law that protects them, that protects it, but they never realize that just because you're free to express yourself doesn't mean you're in the position or have the capacity or capability to do it. Let me repeat that. Just because I think in Quebec there's a law to, it's like almost in any society now is, it's kind of like the first law, which is, you can say whatever you want to say. But most people actually can't even afford to say what they want to say or show up and live how they want to live, right? So the goal is freedom of expression. I know a lot of people keep promising you, hey, financial freedom, come live at this, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, time freedom. But it's like, no, I don't want more free time. I actually hate free time. I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. And maybe doing this Webby on a Sunday is what I want to do. I want to express myself. The way that I'm structuring this webinar is completely different from any webinars that you guys will ever see. Why? Because I can afford to structure the webinar however the fuck I want to structure it. Right? And that's what I mean by freedom. It's you get to do shit however you want to do it. And people either embrace it or they don't embrace it. Right? But it's freedom of expression. Right? The 7-figure leverage consultant model solved this for you, and it has solved it for me. Literally, it's this model that allows me to be fully who I want to be. Okay. So before I start, I only have a few requests. Is, take action. When I went through this transition, I didn't have this Webby to walk me through all the decision and actions I spent the last 2 years thinking through. So I spent the last 2 years. So whatever I did in the last 2 years, in the next few hours, you're going to get access to everything. But use it. Don't just like sit there and waste 2 hours of your day if you're not actually going to do something about it, right? And like always, something that I like to do is, if you're watching this, even if you're watching the recording of this, just take a story and tag me. And I just want you to use the hashtag 7FLC, right? Which stands for 7-figure leverage consultant. And if you can access this, send the recording to any community you're part of once release it. So yeah, anyway, just to repeat, please tag me on your Instagram. Just do a little shout out. Okay. I'll repost it. I'll repost it. Okay. Maybe put a selfie of your face. I don't know. I'll just show me, just do something. Okay. And then everyone who stays till the end gets a gift, of course. And if you can, give your phone to your kid if you have kids, or put it on airplane mode and turn off the internet. But don't turn off the internet but from your computer, but just get off your phone. Don't be distracted, right? I spent the last 2 weeks preparing this. So it has probably cost me over 50 grand for just focusing on this. So I hope you guys will find it beneficial, right? So why should you listen to anything that I say today? Well, I've spent the last 2 years learning everything there is to learn about the 7-figure leverage consultant model. I've spent over $2 million of my own money perfecting this model and its delivery in the last 12 months. Any doubt any problem, any question you can face. I've probably already dealt with it like 10 times over, and I've solved it. So please pay attention today because it may end up getting you highly paid. Now, what is the story behind client acquisition.io 7 FLC model? So, as you guys saw, I went from 12K to over 400K to, millions last year. And but let me actually walk you through the stuff that I went through in this phase, in this period. So in 2020, I was stuck after having gone through courses, and I ended up quitting my job, my 9 to 5, July of that summer, and went all in with my agency, but I couldn't book calls, right? We all can't book calls. Crazy thing. But I learned about the importance of leveraging $3 an hour VAs, leveraging value videos, and leveraging unexplored acquisition channel. So I had an insight. I had an insight into something that others didn't have. So I was kind of like living in the future. Please remember this because it's super important. So I had access to an information that not many people had access to, right? I had access to the mechanism that not many people back then were leveraging. So instead of doing what Iman was telling me to do in Agency Incubator, I believe, or looking at what Sam Movens was teaching me in Consulting Accelerator or Nick Cosman's salesprocess.io, what they were all teaching, instead of doing what they were teaching me to do, which is stuff that I had already gotten rich doing, I thought of solving the problem that I had solved for myself, for others. This is the decision that I made around this time. So I'll try to show you guys. So I made this decision around here, right? And I mean, of course, for the following few months, you guys can see that things picked up pretty fast. And so that's kind of like lesson number one. Solve problems that you've already solved. Solve a problem that you know you would pay for. It's the easiest way to get product market fit or service market fit, right? So after making that decision in January, I hit 10K, my first 10K a month. In May 2021, I had finally scaled to 30K a month, and I was super excited about it, as it was my yearly salary that I was making every month. I was so fired up. It was crazy, right? Unfortunately, the excitement didn't last long. And this is what the Webby is about. It's you've just recently hit your the most amount of money you've ever made, and you're like, wow, it feels so good. But then a few weeks in, you're like, holy shit, this is hard, right? So I had around 10 clients paying me peanuts, right? I was charging so little back then. I had clients paying me like $750. I had clients paying me up to like 1,200, but nothing more. I had one superstar employee, Reg, who was on the call. And she's transitioned from being an accountant from the Philippines to being an outreach specialist, so now managing a whole department. Shout out to Reg. And I had 4 to 6 setters working on the accounts. So they were helping my clients. To serve 10 clients, I had like 4, 5 other employees. Although I was making good money, every problem in the company fell on my shoulders. I was so overwhelmed with tasks, messages, and projects that I started wondering how other founders were able to scale to 10 times my size. How can someone scale this thing to 300K a month? I couldn't understand it, right? I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and my business started to feel more like a job, and I hated it, right? Imagine dreaming about becoming an entrepreneur and being successful, and actually, in the eyes of others, being actually successful, but within you, you know that you're not content. You're not whatever you were aiming for is not actually as fun as it was, right? So what's worse is that since I was being busy, I wasn't working on improving the service, and clients weren't seeing the best results. Therefore, I had to replace 30% or more of my client base every month, right? From outside looking in, I was doing great. I had figured out how to generate attention, how to generate appointments, how to close deals. But from the inside, I was aware that I was dying slowly. The beautiful thing about us humans is that we can't lie to ourselves. If your business isn't doing good as it should, isn't doing as good as it should, you know it. You know that someone has to change or you'll go bankrupt pretty fast, right? So I was bringing in new revenue every month, but I was churning clients at the same rate. My clients weren't seeing the best results as they had other problems in their business that as an appointment setting agency, I couldn't solve. This is also another issue. My actual process was good, but the issue was my clients, they had other business problems that were keeping them from seeing the results they were paying me to see. right? Mainly these were offer problems. A lot of people came from all these courses, and I'm like, bro, like I can't scale your Facebook ad agency. I can't do it. There's no brand wants to hear that you can triple and add $100 million to their ARR. Like, come on, stop it, right? So I was like, holy shit, something needs to change. I was profitable. I was really profitable, up to 60% margins actually, but I was scared to hire expensive talent to alleviate the management problems, mainly because I was charging and collecting tiny monthly retainers. So I was worried that I couldn't sustain paying someone well. Well, it's not that I was worried, it's I couldn't. I literally couldn't. With the money I was making, maybe I could have afforded maybe what, one superstar, but even that superstar, what are they going to do? Nothing, because there's no margins. So I started looking around and trying to find someone, to find people who are doing 300K to 500K a month, and I noticed that they were all selling programs. So I simply decided to do the same, and I'll explain why using first principles later in the presentation. But important, but okay, this is the important. I knew I would fail to play the same game, the same offer, the same positioning, the same acquisition, the same fulfillment model. Funny enough, even if you look at these other guys or everybody doing this, they even fail at playing their own game. I've yet to see any high ticket program seller last more than 3 to 5 years in the game, right? So what did I decide to do? I decided to build a program coming from a completely different angle. Most people selling programs do it because they care about the fact that there is zero marginal cost of replication, meaning every new client costs them nothing to fulfill for, so they can scale infinitely. I knew that I didn't have the brand equity to afford selling a course as a program, because all these guys, you guys know that they're all just selling fucking courses like this. They're not doing anything surprise so special. I didn't have the brand equity. I didn't have the audience. I didn't have nothing. So I couldn't afford to just sell courses. So I decided to build something with this question in mind. How can I make it unreasonable for clients not to see results? So I came up with the $500,000 program, which focused on building and releasing the infrastructure in our clients' companies instead of just teaching them. Everybody here is teaching you what you need to do. But I was like, man, I'm nobody. I can't afford to just be out there and be like, hey, come, pay me 10 grand. I'll show you how to book appointments. What have you done, bro? You haven't done anything. I'm not going to give you even $1, right? But I figured out a way to build something that even if I didn't have any like track record, the value was so good that the pricing would make sense for a lot of people. And look at what happened when I launched it. The first month of launching the program, I generated 70 grand, right? With over 45K in cash collected. So this was August. So June, July, I was kind of like building the thing out. So I collected over 36 grand, 24K in MRR. So that means that the following month, I didn't actually have to start at zero, right? And my goal when launching the $500,000 program was to make it unreasonable for me not to scale past 50K profit per month without feeling stressed from all the fulfillment. And I achieved it a few months later. So this was November profit and loss statement. We generated over 100 grand in revenue, and look at the profits, 76 grand in profits, guys. Crazy. You know, would you say no to running a business where $25,000 a month buys you 75K in profit per month? Who would say no to that in the chat? Would anybody say no to that? I want to know, because I don't know. I personally was excited, right? So the whole point of today's Webby is to go from an overworked, well-paid service provider, meaning you're doing good, you're an agency, you're a consultant, you're a coach, to a leveraged, overly paid founder leveraging this new model, right? So a year later, was able to scale the model to this. This was our profit and loss statement in December of 2022. We did over 600 grand in sales that month and collected like over $500,000. And this was the profit. Profit on collected was 267 grand in that month. That means 267 grand was profit, even after my own payroll, because I include my payroll in the business expenses. I don't I pay myself a salary, but revenue, gross margin or not, profit on revenue was 424 grand. That's crazy. Sometimes I look at it, I'm like, man, what the hell? What's going on? Right? So before I walk you through the scaling protocol of this model, I need to provide you with the 5 whys, the 5 lessons and insights that make this model so powerful. Okay. And this is the most important part. Okay. In today's training, I'm actually not going to be spending so much time into like the tactics because like I've already explained it. Instead, what I want to do is I want to help you guys think through how to scale. Because we all know here that you guys are doing great value. I can even say that some of you guys are doing better services than people that you guys look up to, but they're making 1,000 times more money. Can you please explain that to me? It's not that they know how to do short form content better. It's not that they know how to run better ads. It's not that. It's because they understand something you don't understand. They have different beliefs and they have different, it's almost like they've been, you know how people say like you're in the matrix? When you're doing less than a 5 mil a year, you're still in the matrix of a small business person. Even 10 mil, I would say you're still thinking too small. It's not that you change the service. The service is the same. It's just that the way you think through it changes. Okay? So I'm about to walk you guys through some cool stuff. So let's get to it. So speed makes you invincible. And this is, if you guys understand this one, I think you can make mills. It's pretty easy. So I need everyone, and guys, I need everyone to engage with me. I need the chat to just blow up, right? When would you like to start making 100 grand profit per month? Can someone tell me when in the chat? I'm just curious. When? Right now, ASAP, two days ago, now. Last year, okay, damn, last year, that would have been fun. Okay, cool. When would you like to start taking care of your family? Just blow up the chat, please. Let me know in the chat. And then when would you like a Porsche parked in the garage? I'll answer this myself, man. An hour from now, I would love a Porsche to be delivered personally, because I have that Mercedes, but it's dirty, and my brother has the range, so like I don't want to drive these cars anymore. So I would love a Porsche. So if you guys want to buy me a gift, that would be good. When would you like your next $10,000 client? When would you guys like to live in a penthouse? Because guys, I've been spending a few weeks in this penthouse and I breathe better. My oxygen is better. I don't know why, but it's like it's like, and everybody who comes here, it's like they don't want to leave. So it's like I'm like, is this the penthouse effect? And I have the bedroom upstairs, and guys, I haven't used an alarm in 2 weeks. I wake up before the alarm. I don't know if it's the penthouse, but the penthouse helps, right? But when would you guys like a penthouse? Because I think the guy above me is probably like a hedge fund manager. I would have been okay with the last floor, but it wasn't available, so I got the floor beneath it. But lastly, when would you guys like to be free? Right? Penthouse is crazy. Penthouse French songs, yeah, French love songs. You're good to go. So guys, time is the most important resource we have. And there is a lesson in what I'm about to share with you guys, okay? I asked everyone here, and everything you guys want, you want it now, right? So that means that time is the most important resource we have. It's not about money. Even though most people will prioritize saving money over time, they're actually subconsciously choosing time by saving money because they know that the money will afford them the thing they want. It could be the trip, it could be the car, it could be the home, it could be the nice clothes, it could be the penthouse. But when you're saving money, you're actually choosing to have the thing you want when you want to have it. So saving money is actually saving time, right? And by the way, this is around offer creation that I'm sharing this, just to give you guys a little bit of context. Who would like to use the library's computer to check their Instagram, YouTube, Twitter if it was free, instead of buying a $1,500 iPhone or $3,000 MacBook? How much money did you guys spend on your phone? All right. Or your computer? Can you put it in the chat? For those that live in first world countries, why did you spend $2,000 on a phone when you could have gone on in a library for free and checked your Instagram and just did it like your grandpa does it, right? He goes to the library and opens up the browser. And it's like, hey, Facebook. Well, let me talk to my grandson. Okay, why did you do that, right? Why do people go in depth buying tools, either products and services that can easily be accessed for free? The answer is time, right? The reason why I will never go to a library to check my social media is because if it's free, that means I pay in time, right? Something that is free costs you in time, okay? But when you pay with money, it's someone else's time that is being spent on your behalf to get what you desire, right? When building your offer, optimize for this variable. And I promise you, you'll never not have people wanting to pay you, okay? Amazon does not run YouTube ads. Jeff Bezos is not a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber. I put out videos. I might put out a video after this, right? He's not making webinars, but he's built an organization that generates over $1 billion in revenue daily off of the simple concept of speed and ease. And I want you guys to please understand this for the love of God. Speed and ease is everything. Everything you want received when you want it, which is always as soon as possible, right? A lot of people are running agencies. The old agency model, which is, hey, come in here. I'll do Facebook ad for you. You have to sign a 90-day agreement so that I can serve you. Oh my God, it will take time before we can get your results. Please give me time. Who buys that shit? I don't want to fucking wait 90 days to fucking live the life I want. Why would I buy your agency offer? I don't want it, right? Nobody buys your services because not only are you wanting to charge them monthly, but you're also charging them in time. You're asking them for months and months of their lives for them to experience the outcome that they want. Do you guys see how broken this model of serving people is? It's like you guys are literally creating offers meant to break, and like it's the opposite of this. It's not fast and it's annoying. I've worked with agency owners. They're like, hey, Serge, can you send me the link? Can you send me this? Can you send, man, I don't got time to send you shit. Can you not do your job without needing me? Please, like, do magic, like, do something. Amazon does not ask me for my Google Drive, and they deliver the thing at my address where I live. And Jeff Bezos is on a yacht. So if he's figured out, why can't you figure out how to get me the outcome as fast as I want it, right? Now, the 7-figure leverage consultant model is literally meant to just do this, right? The process we use at client acquisition.io to solve for speed is that we built assets. These assets were made of the components that our clients need to experience their desired outcome. So as an example, a client needs to generate more appointments. And you know what our competitors are doing? Our competitors are offering them information, courses or group calls, and the done-for-you companies, the agency models that are our competitors, are offering them to become their 20th client. So their onboarding happens a week after paying the invoice. Their campaign is launched 2 weeks, sometimes a month later, right? So these done-for-you agencies that you guys work with or that you guys are running, you guys are telling someone, hey, come become our 25th retainer. Oh, wow, I'm so excited to have you as a 25th client. Oh, by the way, don't rush it. I won't rush you. You can sign your invoice, pay me money. Oh, I'll pay you attention 2 weeks from now. And guess what? You lose that client a month later. How many people have had clients leave after the first month? Can someone please tell me who here is running a business and who's running an agency who has had a client leave after the first month? I just want to, can you guys put it in the chat? After the first month, it doesn't have to be longer. I promise you that everyone who here has run an agency has had a client leave in the first month, right? So yours left in a week. That's crazy, man. Jesus Christ. You may have to to not be on this webinar, but it's good. This lesson is going to be good for you. Okay, cool. So what do we do instead? Well, onboarding specialist is available to onboard them in less than 24 hours of paying an invoice. Growth consulting is building them a personalized action plan. We own an audience of 21,000 setters. We own a pool of personalized video sales letter creators to convert leads into meetings. We documented SOPs, training materials, solving every problem that the client will face. We white label every tool that the client will need for outreach. We offer it for free. We white label partners. We have white label partners to help our clients fulfill or consult them on delivering results. So onboarding happens in 24 hours, up to 48 hours max if we're really busy. Growth consultant builds out the thing, gives them the clarity. We have the setters to do the outreach. We have the people to make looms to convert the leads coming from the outreach. We have everything they need to understand on how to scale. We have the tools, the softwares. They don't have to pay for them. In 7 to 10 days, the clients is onboarded, given the clarity they need to scale, their systems built, and their appointment setting campaign launched in 7 to 10 days. Now, answer this question. Would you pay $1,000 course or even a $10,000 program that comes with a course and group calls? Or even, let's say, I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't go work with Serge. Come pay me a $3K a month agency. I'm going to do everything for you. But it's going to take a month to do anything, right? Would you go with them if you knew that paying a little bit more upfront, 12K to 15K, gets you what you want next week? And I'm not asking broke people. I know broke people always want to save money, so I understand. I would also want to save. I wouldn't spend this kind of money. But if I'm in a position that I'm in today, I could care less. I don't want a 90-day agreement. I don't want a program. I don't have time to learn shit. I don't have time to learn. I want the thing I want tomorrow. And please show me how to manage it so I can get done with your service, please. Right? Everybody prioritizes speed over actual money. Money doesn't mean shit, right? And that's the reason why client acquisition.a is what it is today. As a 7-figure leverage consultant, you own the components that create the success for your clients and allows you to deliver results 10 times faster than any of your competitors, right? The closing rate of my business today is higher than when I was charging 1.5K. Do you guys understand that? In 2021, let's say I was charging 1.5K. I had a harder time closing at this price than at the $15,000 deals. Isn't it crazy? Do you know why? Because people are going to spend this, are not buying it because money is the issue. They're buying it because you're offering them something that they want, which is fast, speed. The guy here is trying to save money. There's no point in serving him, right? Which I'll go over later down the line, right? Who here can see how they can be 10 times more successful if they leverage the 7-figure leverage consultant model and owned every assets your clients need to solve their problems? Put it in the chat, right? Imagine if you owned everything, right? Owned everything that your clients need to succeed. How easier would it be to actually become wealthy, right? Let's go. Someone said, I'm in love with Bezos. No, I think you say what? Is it me you said? Am I in love with Bezos? I love to be in love with Bezos. What? Are you crazy? Come on, man. If there's one person to be in love with, that would be the guy. So next lesson is you live and die by your LTV. Who is afraid of scaling their business because they won't have enough money left over to pay rent? Or maybe a movie night. I've been going to movies every week. It's getting expensive, to be honest. Family vacation, Porsche insurance, right? Who here has to think about living expenses and that keeps them from not actually growing their business? Can you guys put it in the chat? I'd love to see if people are actually experiencing this. Can you think of someone who's living a better life and who offers 1/10 of the value you provide? Real quick. I know people who do 1/100th of what I do and who make billions of dollars, or not billions, but who make more millions than I do. So I'm sure you guys know someone who does little than you do, but they make more money. Please leave it in a comment. Maybe tag them, write their name. Let's come after them, please. Let's just come after them. We're going. It's a personal. You got to take it personal right now, right? Someone said Dan Martel. Dan Martel has been doing pull-ups, so you better start doing pull-ups, right? OnlyFans models. Yeah, please. That's crazy. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think that's where we're going, but okay, I get it. I see where you can bring that. So how come they're working less but making more money than you and being more praised than you when you're the one who's struggling to make ends meet while you grind your face out for your clients? Do you guys want to know why? I'll tell you. So just let me know in the chat if you want to know why. Has someone seen Wes Watson's Instagram? Has someone seen this guy? Comment in the chat. Perfect. So let's watch this video real quick, right? Because I think is for those who don't know him, let me give you guys a little bit of context, right? So this is a guy who at 25 actually went to jail for a decade, right? And I think he came out 4 or 5 years ago. I think it's about to be 5. And today he's running an empire, making like 50, 100 grand, 200 grand a day. He's making millions every single month, right? And I don't know about you guys, but like for me to have someone who's been in jail for a decade to come out and make more money than me, I think there is you can kind of like take it personal, or you can kind of like try to learn from what's going on here, right? And for me, I'd rather learn. So look at how many cars he has. This guy is fucking crazy. He's and I'm not sure if you guys are car people, but I love cars. And this guy has like 7.25 million, $500,000 cars. He has every single car that you would want to buy, right? Everything. Lambos, Rolls Royce, Cullinan, Wraith, all that good stuff, right? And guess what? This guy went in jail for a decade, and he has a mansion in here, whatever. So, right? So now let's go back to the lesson. Can someone explain to me how this guy is making this much money? Is it because of he has big muscle, his big chest, his big shoulders? No. I'm sure there's someone out here on this Zoom call who goes to the gym 1,000 times a day and who can try to be like this guy, but who will never actually beat this guy, right? And of course, there is some possibility that he has a good personality, he has a certain character trait that attracts people. But trust me, anybody can have those things. And there's probably more charismatic people or more cool people that actually are worth listening to than this guy, right? But business, he has understood one of the smartest things, one of the most important component of business, right? And I want to share with you guys. So what does he do is he literally helps people start coaching businesses. How many people here know 30 broke coaches trying to coach other coaches to start coaching businesses? Leave in the chat, comment in the chat if you know someone who's broke trying to do a coaching business. We all know someone, right? But let me ask you guys a few questions. Do you think it's the business classes he had in prison that led him to making 2 mil per month today? Do you think it's his course? Do you think it's his audience? I think he has like 300K, 400K people on, 300K IG followers, 400K subscribers, right? I'm sure we know some people who are bigger than him on YouTube or Instagram who don't make even 100 grand a month, right? Do you guys think it's his appointment setting skills? I'm sure I know how to do appointment setting better than him, right? It's not his chest. Or maybe it's because maybe is it because he is the most articulate being who read Breakthrough Advertising, who read $100 million offer by Hormozy, etc. It's none of the above, guys. I can bet that 25% of people on this Zoom call are smarter than Wes Watson when it comes to launching and scaling a coaching business. And by smart, I mean like actual tactical stuff, right? But how come he's the one with 7 supercars and 25% of the audience here can't even afford to even pay for a new Honda, right? It's simply that he charges no less than 20 grand per client. This guy understood the most important thing about business, and that is pricing. 95% of businesses that fail because they don't have enough money left to pay for talent, better systems, or simply 7 supercars. You're struggling because you're charging baby money, guys. You're not collecting enough money. You're not making enough money because you're not charging enough money. This guy here goes to prison for a decade. I mean, Jesus Christ. Some of you guys would probably be willing to trade 10 years to come out and live this lifestyle, right? It's crazy. And here is why most people fail in business. You set low prices, you attract broke people who can afford low prices. Therefore, when you attract them, you have little to no money, and then no money left for marketing or fulfillment. So you can't even hire people who are talented. And then since you don't have smart people in your company, it's only up to you. You have bad results for your clients. And you also, you know what's worse? You also look broke too. Isn't that sad? Imagine grinding your face off. And then when someone gets on a call, you're like, hey, it's 2.5K per month. I'm like, guys, do you know how many clients you would need to pay for this penthouse with 2.5K a month? It's not even worth being in business if you're charging 2.5K a month. Okay. Now, instead, this is what you guys should be focusing on. High ticket, high price, the type of prices that make you uncomfortable. You go to sleep at night, you're like, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? If you've never felt like that, trust me, you're not charging high. Charge high ticket. And guess what? Guess who you attract? High quality customers. And guess what? They're so committed. They love expensive shit. They just want to buy. They're like, you know, the kind of butterflies you get when you're about to make a big investment? They love those butterflies. So they love investing. And you know what's funny is when you do a bunch of cash collected, guess what? More revenue, better backend, money left for marketing. And you know what? You can go and buy the 7 supercars. And when someone sees the 7 supercars, they're going to be like, oh my God, this is a buff dude, big ass biceps, 720S, Lambo. I think that's an F8, a Cullinan. I'm like, this guy must be bright. And you know what happens? You also look like you're winning. So therefore, it influences you to increase the price because you're making way so much money that anything is not even like no one is worth your time anymore. So this is like a flywheel. It never stops, right? Charging anything less than 10 grand per client guaranteed is being careless and being irresponsible for your organization as a service provider. I'll repeat this. If you're collecting less than 10 grand every time you do business, you're being careless and you're being irresponsible for your organization as a service provider. Not only just for your organization, but even for your family, guys. It's crazy, right? Let me tell you why. And this is probably one of the most important lessons. 20% of any given market represents the buyers. 20% of any given market represent the buyers of 80% of what's being offered and sold on the marketplace. Whether that be appointment setting services, UGC services, coaching offers, blah, blah, blah. Only 20% of people buy 80% of the services. And there's 80% of any given market, the broke, average people, that represents the buyers of 20% of what's being sold on the market. And here is where things go crazy. Most founders, not knowing this, decide that they're going to price their products and services to serve most of the market. The 80% that only buys 20% of the market is how you price your product, because you're like, oh, I'm looking to serve so many more people. I'm so excited. And you know what happens to founders like these? Nothing happens to them actually, because they can't afford anything. Nothing happens. But that's how bad it is. They stay fighting over peanuts in a red ocean. And that's when you start seeing ads like this. I'll give you a new heart. And if it doesn't work, I'll give you $500 for wasting your time. How many people have seen this type of offer? Hey, I'll book you 100 meetings. And if it does not show up and convert into $100 million, I'll give you $10 for having wasted your time. Do you know how stupid that looks? And I'm not. So you know what's funny is that actually works. Some people are actually booking calls, scaling companies, making $500,000 a month, saying that shit. But I promise you that I personally would never fall for that offer. And guess what? I'm the person with the money. You know who they're attracting with that type of offer? Broke people. And you know what the mistake is? They're trying to sell 80% of the people who only have the money to afford 20% of what's on the marketplace. No one who is doing well would make such a promise, because the 20% that buys 80% is not looking for guarantees or your $500. What they're looking for is options, quality, and most importantly, speed. They don't care about getting their money back. I want what I want now, right? This is the most important thing, right? And here is how the 7-figure leverage consultant model helps you collect 10, 20K, 70K packages like clockwork, okay? So at some point, I woke up at 9 a.m., okay? And I had already made 30 grand. I can't lie to you guys. Have you ever had a moment of where you visited heaven for a second? This was this moment. And I took a cold shower. So I came back to earth really fast. So, but anyway. And then maybe you want to have a 50K day. Guys, you don't have a 50K day charging your small retainers or even your coaching programs where you have to be like, hey, it's $2,000 right now so we can get started. Oh, by the way, give me $50 so I can do a deposit so you feel safe, so I can guarantee the close. Guys, forget that. Forget that. Okay? Contrary to what Wes Watson is doing, though, which is simply using the material stuff to sell his audience. Like Wes Watson, I mean, I think he's a great speaker. He's like a motivational speaker, and he has a lot of supercars. But he's not going to give you the frameworks around how to build. Like, he's not going to do it like Hormozi, because Hormozi goes deep into actual frameworks, right? As a 7-figure leverage consultant, we don't need to rely on the supercars for the marketing or the $100,000 watches, because you own the components that make it unreasonable for your clients not to see the success. Using client acquisition.io as an example, by owning every solution needed for a client to experience an outcome, we create the best value for the client. If a client was to go buy our expertise, our recruitment, training services, our systems, etc., they would actually have to spend more money, 3 to 5 times as much. So the service offered, the actual components have intrinsic value. It's not like me just saying, oh, well, you have to pay us 10 grand because I just read this training that Serge said that I should never charge under 10 grand. No, actually, I can logically tell you the value that you're getting. I have 100 grand in payroll every month. I'm paying 100 grand. You get to pay 10 grand to get the same value, to get help by the people who are in my company. So do you want to go buy that, or would you rather go work with an agency who has no payroll, who has never faced problems, or do you want to pay 10K to access 100 grand of value a month, right? That's the difference with this model. We're not selling coaching. We're not selling consulting. None of that. We actually own components that cost a lot of money, right? The beautiful thing about being a 7-figure leverage consultant is that you brand yourself as the company that makes it unreasonable for your clients not to see success. Okay. And that in and of itself provides you the brand equity needed to increase your prices, because the goal isn't to serve 80% of the marketplace. We only want to serve 20% of the market that wants the best of the best, right? Please, please, please choose your segment properly, right? And this is kind of like the lesson. If you guys ever want to go check out this talk with Knowledge Project, I will shout out that podcast, right? But this guy, George was a consultant at the BCG, Boston Consulting Group. Boston Consulting Group is probably top 5 consulting companies in the world right now, or maybe top 10. They're doing like $11 billion a year. So anybody who makes $1 billion a month, you should probably listen to them. And I try to listen to them. So he said that 20%. So he actually brought this up. He himself, he's not a marketer, but he was like, he likes, I think there are those planes. He likes this activity, which is like he buys planes that can be flown, like they're like drones essentially, right? And he was like, man, I'm probably buying up all the products that these guys are selling, right? and he asked the Shane, who's the guy at the podcast, who hosts the podcast, and he's like, "What do you like buying?" And Shane was like, he likes, I think it was something around skiing, and he asked Shane, like, do you ever buy more? And he's like, yeah, I probably buy a lot of stuff, and the people who serve me know my name, they know this, they know that, and um anyway, he was bringing it up because they were talking about something that I'll come back to later, but these guys realize that like there's no point in trying to serve 80% of the people. Just price your thing so you can only serve the 20% that actually cares to pay. So serving 1/5 of the marketplace by being able to charge 10 times higher per clients allows you to make more money working less. Compared to the founder who's serving 100,000 clients, stressed, and who isn't making any profits. I'm sure you guys know big agencies that you guys look at and they're on Twitter. They're like, oh, yeah, I make 500 grand a month and I have a team of like 100 employees. But you look at the guy and he's only making 30K a month. I'm like, bro, you could have just fucking stayed where you were at 100 years ago. You're getting old and you're just boasting the size of your company, but you're not making any money, right? It's a bliss when you understand this concept and most importantly, implement it. Serve only 1/5 of the marketplace. And to compensate for the small size, we're going to charge 5 times more. And guess what? When we charge 5 times more, we get to serve them 5 times better. And we get to make them happier 5 times happier, right? And pricing, it's irrelevant. I mean, if I'm going to go buy the GT3, it's like 300 grand. Why would someone pay 300 grand on a product, on a car, when I could go buy, when 2 years ago I was driving a Mazda that cost $2,000? I'm going to do the same thing. I can go get the bagel in a $2,000 car, but I'd rather do it in a $300,000 car. Do you know why? Because when I hit the curve, when I go into the corners, I want my bagel to stay steady, okay? I want the quality shit. And guess what? When you charge this much, you're 10 times more profitable. And then you get the supercars, right? Hormozy looked at the competitor of Gym Launch, and some of you guys have probably heard this already, and noticed that they were doing the exact same thing, but Gym Launch was many times more profitable than they were simply because they charged more money, right? What do you guys think about this lesson about pricing? Is it good? Most people, so Denise said, most people are starting out, they don't have case studies, they charge a client that much. I say because those clients want to know you're overdone. Denise, why don't you go find someone who's done the work, right? You don't need to, like, do you think Warren Buffett, if he wanted to invest, if he wanted to start doing short form content, do you think Warren Buffett would be like, oh my God, I can't charge you a lot of money because I don't know how to fulfill on short form content, or maybe paid ads? Of course he wouldn't. He would just find the best short form content agency owner and he would be like, hey man, I'll make you richer than you've ever been. Just come deliver this amazing service that you have to me and let me handle acquisition and let me handle pricing. That's it. You don't need a case study, guys. Case studies is limiting belief, right? I don't do anything in the company. Does that mean that I'm not going to charge a lot of money? No. Like, actually, you know what? I'll try to handle that belief easier. If you charge me 10 grand, trust me, that 10 grand can buy you case studies. There you go. Right? So now the next thing is leverage. Leverage. All right. So traditional done-for-you businesses like agencies are a nightmare to scale because of the heavy reliance of the model on humans. If you offered me to scale my appointment setting agency to 500K a month, I would have preferred going back to my 9 to 5, making 2K per month and living stress-free. Literally. If you told me, hey, Serge, you're going to scale this model, hire 200 employees, only to make, let's say, even $1 million a month, I would have been, hey, I'm okay. You can keep that business, right? The more revenue you get, the more you need to scale your team. The more people there are in a company, the more things break. The more things break, the harder it gets to scale due to complexity, right? When I made 600 grand in December, I had 2 closers, 2 onboarding specialists, 1 growth consultant, 1 systems integrator, 1 setter manager, and 3 growth specialists. That's 11 people running a $7.2 million run rate with like 66% margins. How was it possible? The answer is leverage. And that's what I want to talk about right now, right? The beautiful thing about the seven-figure leverage consultant model is that the expectation is set on the delivery of the thing. The thing and the consulting or coaching, if you are more of a coach, clients are buying an infrastructure. They're not buying management, right? People are buying a thing, okay? It's like they're buying a car. When you go buy a car, you don't go to the dealership and be like, hey, I'm not able to drive at 100 miles an hour. That's up to you to drive. If you're not a good driver, the dealership that's not the dealership issue, right? And guess what? That means that you can sell a lot of cars because you don't have to teach people. I mean, you can, but you're not being paid to teach people to be the F1 driver, to become an F1 driver and to give them the car. You're just giving them the product, the infrastructure, and then you can kind of like help them manage it, right? But the thing is on the outcome, you're not selling the outcome, you're kind of like selling the thing, right? The model allows you to leverage media, so pre-recorded content, course, to explain concepts and make sure your clients understand the thing you need them to understand in order to see success. The model allows you to build systems, white label softwares, or simply look into AI models that remove the need for humans' inputs, right? This model allows you to leverage media and code to stay lean while still delivering more value than 90% of your competitors. And I'm sure if you guys have ever seen Naval Ravikant's podcast on how to get rich, he really emphasized that if you actually want to get rich, you need these 3 forms of leverage. I say 3 because it's better to use all 3 than to use just one. Code, media, capital, or people, right? Code, media is probably the same thing. Capital or people, right? And if you don't do this, you're done. There's no like you can't serve 100,000 people. Like you don't have enough time in a day to sell your time and also even sell your team's time. It does not work. You need leverage. You need something you can build once and deliver at scale to a lot of people, right? By being more profitable, it allowed me to allocate capital to better specialists who can solve my clients' problems better than I could. That's the beautiful thing of charging a lot of money, is that you actually get to be more profitable. And by being more profitable, you get to spend on better talent, right? So over the last 2 years, I've built cold email systems. I've built CRMs. I've built sales processes. I've probably pushed more TikTok agencies into becoming TikTok agencies than anyone else in the game. And guys, I don't even use TikTok. I've pushed more short form content agencies, and sometimes I don't even do short form content myself. Why? Because I have the capital that I can leverage to hire specialists. I don't need to be the specialist. Like if you come to me, you're like, hey, Serge, how do I add captions on my thing? I'll be like, bro, I don't know. I'm just like you, bro. I don't know nothing, right? Because I afford leverage, right? I've never touched or spent any time studying and mastering or building any of it. The word leveraged in the name is important because it is the core of the model. It's not just about, oh, you're going to be able to leverage a content that is pre-recorded. No, it's that you also use the money you make to build and serve your clients better than you can ever do it, right? It's everything. Leverage all the way. Leverage all the fucking way, right? How many people are in this webinar who call themselves experts, but who dread doing the thing that they're expert on? Answer in the chat. I'm talking about you're a Facebook ad goat. You're a media buyer. You're like killing it. But doing the thing that you actually are good at is actually annoying. Can you put it in the chat if that's you? That's everything. It's everyone, guys. Like I swear to God, like no amount of money will make you not hate working. If you're working on like you get to a point where you're doing something, and even though you're paid well, it actually becomes annoying, even if it's the thing that's saving your clients and delivering amazing results to your clients, right? So it's super important to understand it, right? So with this new model, you don't have to spend any time in the fulfillment since you can afford better talent, people who do the thing you do better than you. But guess what? People who like what you don't like. That is the most important thing. Hire people who actually love what you don't like and get them to do the things, and then only do the things you love. Like for me, like doing this webinar, I would never want to delegate it because I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Like I want to keep doing it. Like whether it makes me money or not, I'm gonna still do a webby, right? It's just what I love. And guess what? I end up enjoying my business because I only do what I enjoy doing. I let the other things get handled by people who love doing those other things. But the issue is most people think that just because they're good, that they should keep doing the thing they're good at, even if it makes them miserable. You don't want to do that. Okay. Now, the next lesson. So is leverage good here? Was it important? Was it good? Have I made my point here with the importance of leverage? Put it in the chat. Let me know in the chat. So the next thing is product and service, right? We have this thing where like we all know that everyone loves e-commerce, right? Because of the scalability of the model. Everybody's like, oh no, whenever I start making really good money, I'm actually going to launch my own e-commerce brand because being a service provider is really annoying. I don't like it. It doesn't scale. I don't like to serve humans. Humans are annoying. I'm like, okay, whatever. But you know what's funny? Product-based companies are easier to scale than service-based businesses, which is true. But the issue with e-com is the tiny margins that come with the model. Most people think they have to choose one or the other, but let me tell you that you don't. The seven-figure leverage consultant model allows you to leverage the scalability of a product-based business and the high margins of a service-based business. How? Really simple. Step one is you productize the service you deliver by splitting them into the fulfillment into phases. So as an example, if I was a paid ads agency, I would do something like I would do an onboarding, an audit, and an action plan build, right? Hey, let's onboard you. Let's do an audit of what you've been doing wrong. And then let's build out an action plan on how we're going to solve your problems and the mechanisms that are going to be needed to solve these problems. And then phase two is you're designing the campaign, you're setting up the targeting, creative guidance, copywriting, right? So you're still building stuff. And then phase three is setting up everything that you worked on during the building phase. And then once you've set it up, you launch it. And then phase four is optimization, right? Literally, this is it. Step two is hire specialists for each phase and let them do their magic. Step three, once each phase has been dialed in, we'll document the process of each phase, SOPs, troubleshooting campaigns, expectations, all that good stuff. This will allow us to avoid having to repeat ourselves and avoid the team becoming a bottleneck, allowing us to scale further with a lean team. Step four is benefit from the speed of a systematic way of delivering results that come from a productized service and the freedom that comes from leveraging the high margins of a service business to buy back your time by hiring specialists. Guys, this is everything. Productize the fulfillment by putting into phases. Hire people, specialists for each single phase. Remove yourself. How easy is it to remove yourself when you ask yourself, hey, am I the best onboarding specialist? Am I the best consultant? Am I really? No, I'm not. Am I the best person at setting up a Facebook campaign or designing like a short form content flow? Am I the best editor? Am I the best copywriter? No, I'm not. Oh, let's hire for it. We have money. Oh, am I the best person to setting up a cold email system? Am I the best at launching it? Am I the best at troubleshooting it? No. And lastly, am I the best person to keep a client accountable? I'm not. So please remind me why I'm doing any work today. Oh, I don't have to do anything because I'm not the best. Okay, cool. Well, who can we hire, please? Find the best people, have them document everything, have them fulfill. And the beautiful thing is when you hire the best of the best in each stage and you give them their mission, their job outcomes, oh my God, do they do an amazing job, right? And I want to share with you guys this pod. There's a section in this pod that I share you guys that where he talks about how Toyota, Japanese car manufacturers, actually beat Ford in productivity when these Japanese, so Toyota had 1/3 the team size, they had more products, meaning they were selling more products, right? But they were twice as productive. Can someone explain to me how this is possible? How can a company have 1/3 the team size of the next company, have more things to sell, meaning they're busier because they have to look at so many products. They have to think about 3 different onboardings. They have to think about 3 different design. They have to think about 3 different ways to set up the fulfillment. They have to find 3 times, like they have to build hiring scorecards. They have to manage people 3 different, like all these things, but they're still twice as productive. Anybody has the answer to that in the chat? How can a company that's smaller doing more be twice as productive? You said they focus on one thing. Not really, because I just told you that they have three times as many things to focus on. So Dredd said systems. Great and effective supply chain. Okay, um, so the answer is I won't go. I would love to show you guys listen through the whole thing, but I won't. I just try to give this pretty fast. But you know how they did it is I'll actually try to find it. So what essentially happened is I actually asked ChatGPT yesterday to tell me the story because since I'm using the mic, you guys can't really hear it. But so essentially, what they did is Ben, the founder of BCG Group, no, Bruce is his name. I don't know if he's still alive, but he told George, he's like, hey George, like we've been telling these partners of ours that the way you scale a company is by focusing on one thing, right? A lot of you guys have seen Hormozi's like, don't start another business. Don't start another business. Just focus on one business. Focus, right? So like focus on one thing, right? That's what the BCG boys were doing. They're consulting all these firms, all these car manufacturers, these big billion-dollar companies. They're like, don't sell a bunch of different products, just focus on one. And then once you hit scale, you access scale, economies of scale. You just go focus on this. Focus on one thing and then just scale the operations. Focus, scale, right? But then Bruce got to George and like, hey, George, like, look at this report that just came out. Toyota is 1/3 the size, meaning they're smaller. They're not scaling, okay? So their rule of scaling is not good. And then the next thing is they have more products. They have a bigger product line, but they're twice as productive as Ford operations. How is that? And he told George, hey, George, fly to Japan and go see how these guys are running their fulfillment, right? And once George got to Japan, he realized one thing. Their operation is their management, the size of the management of these Toyota and Japanese like Mazda manufacturers, the management is 1/10 the size, meaning there are no managers. Nobody's there managing a big firm, like a big scale. Because when you scale, you need people managing people, right? Instead, what they did is they only hired people who actually do stuff. Less managers, just do your thing, right? So they found waste and removed it completely. If you don't do something within the production line, you're not needed. If you don't onboard clients, if you don't set up a campaign, if you don't build systems, if you don't optimize the campaign, What are you doing in the company? Please remind me. What do you do every day? How many agency owners on here have employees who don't do shit? Think of that employee right now. I know you have one employee, maybe 3, maybe 10, who you go to sleep and you're like, bro, what is that person doing again? I can't remember. But then you know what happens? You're like, oh, but I haven't given them more jobs, so it's normal that they're not working. Yeah, right. You're going to tolerate that? You're going to tolerate the fact that you did not give them work, so no work is being done? What the Japanese people understood is we don't need big companies. We need people building shit. We need people serving our clients. Anything that is not that, we don't want. Right? And if you look at the 7-figure leverage consultant model, is you don't need people who don't do shit. You don't need 20 media buyers. You need one media buyer who fulfills for 100 clients. I mean, you can tell Haisam, in December, when we had maybe like 50 new clients, I think you onboarded most of them. I think Brandon maybe did a part, but how percentage wise, how many?
I think 90% easily.
In Haisam, one single person onboarded 90% of 600 grand in revenue in a single month. Tell me how you can't onboard people again. You tell me how. Explain to me how your business is, oh, you're making 30K a month. You're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. It's because your business is broken. You have a bunch of people doing a bunch of shit, but not doing shit. Lesson this, oh my God, I can't. So I know I'm using this car manufacturer, I'm using this, but what I want to really get you guys to understand is this model allows efficiency, the type of efficiency that made Japanese car manufacturers beat Ford, even though Ford had a bigger team and only one product to focus on, right? Important lesson. Now, you cannot have Haisam onboard 600 grand in new revenue if the delivery is completely different. Like, I know a lot of you guys are running agencies and you're like, oh, so please tell me, what would you like for us to do? Would you like for us to serve you on Monday or on a Tuesday? Would you like to be onboarded next week or today? Okay, cool, perfect. Okay, so a lot of decisions, a lot of inefficiency shit. So now guess what? You onboard more than 3 clients a month and you're like, your team is like, hey, Serge, please don't onboard no more clients. We're so overloaded with work. I'm like, bro, I onboarded over $500,000 a month. Like, chill out. You haven't done shit. Come on, bro. Are you crazy? Right? So this model allows you to really productize things and make it really work really well, right? And look at how the growth that we saw in 90 days, guys, because I mean, I'm not going to say that I run Toyota, but I run client acquisition.io. It's almost the same thing. So let's go. So this is September 2022, okay? 112 grand. FYI, whenever you're going through building phases, revenue dips. So whenever you make less money, don't worry about it so much. Like, trust me, the people who are meant to buy yesterday are going to buy tomorrow. Okay, so don't rush. September, and look at the next month. Next month, we went from 112 grand to 335 grand. Didn't feel a thing. Operation still dialed in. Guess what? Next month, 368 grand. How many people here, even if I could give you 300 grand right now, like, hey, Serge, I have 300 grand in new revenue. I need you to fulfill on it today. How many people can actually do that on this call? How many people can go from 100 grand fulfillment, your current operations? You say that you're a good business? Tell me, if I tripled your current business size, would you even handle it? I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to make $500,000 a month like you, Serge. Like, come on, bro. You can't even handle 50 grand in new revenue. Why do you want to grow so much? Lesson number 1, you're not that good. You're not that good. Yes, can you book calls? Yeah. Can you fulfill? Yeah. But it's not just about knowing how to deliver client results that matters as a business owner. Like what makes Elon Musk is not because he knows how to build batteries. No. Well, it's maybe not even him. It's probably just his team, right? But what makes you great is, can you handle a lot of growth? Can you go from 100 grand to 300 grand to 300 grand again to $500,000 again in 90 days, guys? Can you go from 100 grand to $1 million collected in 90 days? You don't do this being doing the traditional stuff, right? And this is also lesson number 3 or 4. I don't know. I forgot, right? But is this helpful, guys? Let me know in the chat. Also, leave some questions in the chat, and then we'll the team, if you guys can start writing questions for people if they have, we can answer them later. So you're only as great as your constraints. This kind of like from last point, it kind of leads into this one. I can guarantee that everyone here is doing something that someone else has been able to scale to 10 times the size, including myself and my offer and my business. Why is it that we're doing less while offering the same exact thing? Can someone explain to me that? How do we do the same thing, but someone else is doing 10 times more, and we can't even double our business in the next year? It's super hard, right? The answer is the theory of constraints. I'm sure you guys have heard about this, right? So in any system, even a business is a system, right? A system is a collection of interrelated independent processes that work together, that turn inputs into outputs in the pursuit of some goal. A chain always one weakest link. If one applies force to the chain at an increasing rate, it eventually breaks the weakest link. Therefore, the weakest link is the constraint that prevents the system from doing any better at achieving its goals. Right? So I won't go into the next stage. So check this out. A lot of you guys are running this type of business. This is what your business looks like. I'll zoom in. You have an offer that has the potential to do $1 million a year, right? Your marketing has the potential to only do 300K a year, right? Your sales has the potential to do 600K a year. Your onboarding has the potential to onboard 500K a year. Your delivery can only handle 300K a year, right? And you keep trying to say that, hey, I want to sign more clients. I want to get more clients. I want to do this. But unfortunately, in a system like this, in a business that has these kind of constraints, they'll never do more than 300K a year. You can kind of like avoid this. This is not really important. You can overlook this. But the marketing is going to be the bottleneck of this business. So whatever marketing can handle or whatever marketing can attract is what will dictate every single thing that comes through. So that means that 300K a year will be the size of this business, regardless of how you want to do it. I don't care if Hormozi built your offer. I don't care if Jeremy Miner built your sales processes. You're not going to make more than 300K a year. It's that simple, right? Now, every single person running a business on this call is stuck at their current revenue level because they haven't done the following. Taking time to analyze and rate the throughput that each process and system and employee can handle. You need to take time, actually take time and ask yourself, hey, is my offer really worth 7 figures? Is my marketing 7-figure type of marketing? Is my sales, 7-figure worthy? Is it a 7-figure worthy, 7-figure sales process or sales script? Is my onboarding 7-figure worthy? Is my delivery 7-figure worthy? If it's not, find out the weakest link. It may be your offer. Most of you guys, it's always the offer. But at the end of this call, you guys will be, you won't have any more pain. But a lot of you guys, it's mostly marketing and then sales. I think a lot of beginners, this is the biggest issue. They figure out how to sell. They figure out how to market and create a good offer that they've copied from someone else, but they don't know how to sell. Therefore, they're like, Hey, Serge, how do I get more meetings? How do I get more meetings? It's like, no, bro, you're just bad at sales. You suck at sales. You've taken 10 calls. You haven't signed a deal. What are you waiting for? Solve this. Don't try to solve this. You've already solved it, right? And others, it's mainly this. Once you're making good money, it's always these last two ones. Based on the analysis that you find that you do, create a priority list on the constraints that need to be elevated. Stick to the script and priority until the constraint in your business is elevated. Do not do anything else until the main thing is solved. If sales is the issue, I don't want you marketing more. I don't want you trying to change your offer. Changing the offer is not going to help you. Or trying to do some type of business model. Like, no, it's not going to help you, right? 100K a year business to 100K per month needs to elevate the constraints created by their pricing and client acquisition infrastructure, right? So if you're doing 100K a year and you want to do 100K a month, the issue is not that you need to change your marketing, because you've already figured out how to get 100 grand in people business. Literally, like if you can make 100 grand a year, you can make it in a month. But in order for you to do that, you need to elevate the offer pricing. You need to actually maybe 10x your prices, serve better people, and then your marketing needs to go a bit up. You need to increase the amount of impressions you're getting. If you're doing 100K per month business and you want to do $1 million per month, you need to elevate the constraints created by the fulfillment model and go all in on acquisition once you've solved your fulfillment. Like this 7-figure leverage model can be scaled to $1 million per month, easy, right? But a lot of people get to 100K per month and they're like, oh, I need to spend more on marketing. I need to get better closers. No, you don't, bro. You do not. You've made 100 grand a month. You don't change shit. You just improve the weakest link, which is what is the bottleneck? Bottleneck is probably you can't actually help this many people and give them good results, right? Now, becoming a 7-figure leverage consultant, you become the most valuable solution for your industry, because the clarity that your clients need to scale their business, you help them see for the first time the steps needed to ascend to the level they dream of, right? Because at the end of the day, you're still a consultant. You're actually consulting people on solving problems, right? But what makes it even more beautiful and what gives us a moat, a competitive edge over most coaches and consultants out there is not only do we give you clarity on how to ascend, we build you the elevator, aka the thing that is needed to elevate your constraints in your business, and you make it unreasonable for them not to see success. So essentially, a 7FLC person is literally leveling up, elevating the constraints of the thing that keep people from struggling, right? So as an example, our $500,000 program, you come in, let's say with a Facebook ad offer, we're going to be like, hey man, like your offer is only constrained to maybe, like the people are still pushing that unless they have a brand, they can't even sign like 10K a month in new deals. So maybe leverage something else, right? Leverage some other offer. So we give them an offer that elevates the constraints. And then on their marketing, we're like, hey bro, you have nothing in your company. How about we build systems and people that are actually going to maybe do the activity required to do more, make a lot more, maybe twice as much. And if we see that they suck at sales, we're actually going to start consulting you on sales and maybe building out your sales script and reviewing your calls. So all we're doing is elevating the constraints of each thing that they're struggling with, right? And we don't just do it through consulting, we also do it through done for you, right? This was what has allowed me to go from being a broke immigrant kid, working 9 to 5s, reading books every night about business, buying every course and program out there, to now running a multiple 7-figure business with 30 employees and thousands of clients. I understood the importance of creating no-brainer offers by leveraging the ability to provide clarity to clients and building them the thing or things needed to get them to the next level. As I'm writing this, a client just told me that he had to get a loan of $10,000 to join the $500,000 program, right? Like, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, but but people don't have money. People don't have money. Yeah, right. They don't have money for the thing you're selling them because you're selling some bullshit, right? When you become a 7-figure leverage consultant and follow the frameworks provided by client acquisition.io, you'll build something that people are willing to go in depth for. If people have not yet sold their car to buy your service, your offer is not that good. Like, change it. Like, do something about it. Stop thinking that you're just not lucky. Oh, nobody knows you. Oh, you don't have a YouTube, so you're not a YouTuber. So therefore, the money people we make is because we're YouTubers. No, it's not because of YouTubers. I made my first 100 grand with nothing. I had like 100 subscribers, right? It's not about, it's 100 grand a month. It's not about the fame. It's about the offer, right? Now, I don't suggest selling people who need a loan to buy your services, again, because we've talked about not selling to the 80%, we're selling to 20%. Moving forward, we'll set up a policy where we can't sell anything, where we can't sell you any of our services or protocols unless you're already making money. This is actually applies to our business, because as I'm sharing you guys this, I'm also getting a lesson for my own business, right? So becoming a 7-figure leverage consultant elevates the hell out of your offer and marketing and fulfillment constraints. You go from this. So this is what your offer looks like. Marketing, sales can handle. After 7 FLC, 5 mil per year offer, 2 to 6 mil per year marketing strategy and infrastructure, and 2 to 6 mil a year sales processes. If your onboarding was this, maybe you can only handle 500K in new yearly revenue, and deliver maybe up to 300K in yearly revenue. Then you go from this to being able to onboard over millions and millions of dollars and deliver on millions and millions of dollars, right? So you're elevating the constraints. How many people would trade their current constraints of their business model for these new constraints? Because funny enough, this is also painful. Being stuck at 2 to 5 mil a year is also painful. But who would trade their current business problems for these new business problems? In the chat, comment below. Perfect. Right now, I want to show you guys, I want to get into more of the scaling stuff, right? And how to actually kind of like structure your thing and how to scale it. Before I show you the 5 components of client acquisition.io, that client acquisition.io has used to scale this model to 500K per month, let me show you why it's the easiest model to scale following this acquisition flywheel, okay? And this is something that I built the other day. I was just literally just trying to figure out a way to explain this. And I think you guys will find it helpful, right? So there is something pretty exciting about this model, right? And you guys, anyone who understands this, by seeing this, if you understand this and you're not making millions by the end of the year, like, I just think I think you're either lazy or you actually don't want to make money. But check this out. Let's say you become a 7-figure leverage consultant, right? It could be your short form content agency owner, right? Or your paid ads agency. Maybe you work with people who are selling info products, or maybe you're helping local businesses. Like, we have a client who's helping woodworkers, like people who build stuff, builders. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you have an expertise and you do done for you stuff, where you coach people on something and you become a 7-figure leverage consultant, this is what happens to you. You get a client. That client pays you 10 grand, right? There's 10 grand here. And you make money. Now, in order for you to make 10 grand, you've had to spend money on acquiring this client. So it actually costs you $1,000 in acquisition, in CAC, right? Well, it's also going to cost you money to fulfill, right? So it's going to cost you, maybe out of the 9 grand, it's going to cost you 3 grand to fulfill. So you're left with 6 grand, right? And maybe you're going to be like me, you're going to be cheap and you're going to pay yourself like 2 grand out of the 6 grand. And then you're going to keep a bunch of money in the bank, in the business. So profit after everyone is paid, everyone, you have $4,000. Guess what happens? The acquisition cost to acquire a client is only $1,000. We have $4,000 left. What can we do? We can afford to go get 4 new clients at 10 grand. Now you go from making 10 grand a month to making 40 grand a month. And guess what? The same thing goes. We have 36 grand after acquisition cost. So we spent 4 grand trying to acquire these 4 new clients. Okay. And then fulfillment is going to cost us. So we also have economies of scale. It's not really economies of scale. It's just we have more productivity. So the cost to fulfill actually goes down as we scale. Like the cost to fulfill doesn't go as fast as we scale, because again, Hisam delivered on $500,000 worth of fulfillment. So trust me, yeah, it doesn't go up as fast. So now we're left off with 29 grand. And again, you're cheap. But this time around, instead of paying yourself 2 grand, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna pay myself 9 grand this month. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now you're left off with 20 grand. Guess what? 20 grand buys you what? 20 grand buys you 200 grand worth of revenue. And guess what? 200 grand costs to acquire the 200 grand. It only costs you 20 grand. So you're left off with 180K, right? To fulfill is probably going to cost you like 40 grand. And then you're going to pay yourself maybe 40 grand a month. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I need that GT3 RS now. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Let's go. And then now you're left off with 100 grand. Now, do you guys see how crazy this becomes? It's ridiculous. So that means that you don't need money. That's why for me, it's like a lot of people are like, hey, Serge, I don't have money to buy your services. I'm like, bro, are you crazy? Like when I talk to business owners who are making money and they're telling me that they can't afford my services, I'm like, something is wrong with you. You clearly have not understood that it's not about buying my services. It's using the money you're going to make from my services where you make the money to afford my services. It's not the other way around. You don't afford it. Someone that you're going to acquire is going to afford me and afford the life that you want. Most people are going through it backwards. They're like, oh, I can't afford better systems or better frameworks because I don't have the client. When in fact, you need the systems to acquire the person who's going to finance the systems and finance the life that you want to have, right? So the client buys you the next client, and the cost to fulfill goes down as you scale, and you can indefinitely scale without needing to use funding, debt, or using your own money. Like for me, it's like, guys, like in the last 2 years, 3 years of running a business, I have never made less money. Like there is no month where I've had to lose money. Like there's no month where I was like, oh my God, this month I'm not making money. I have to pay the cost to run a company. Never. I'm always paid to run the company. Why? Because lifetime value, price upfront, high ticket, talent is good. They can deliver efficiently. And we're building these things one-off. So the fulfillment drag is not really, it's not there. So it's like, oh my God, like I'm literally like getting paid to get paid. Do you guys see how life becomes beautiful now? Right? This, if you can understand this, guys, I don't know what I mean, this is everything, right? This is everything. When I repeat, this is everything, guys, this is everything. Now, what most people do with the agency model is, let me show you guys what it looks like. It's crazy. It's actually sad sometimes. So this is what an agency owner looks like. They collect 2.5K here. And then maybe it actually cost them $1,000. Because you know what's funny? To acquire $10,000 client is the same amount of work and money to acquire a $10,000 client. So don't think that just because you're charging less, that it's costing you less to charge that money to acquire that client. So you're not going to make 9 grand profit. You're actually going to make 1,500. Look at how this business model breaks. You're seeing it. I can tell that you're already seeing it. I can tell some people are living this right now on this call. If you're living this, just put it in the comment. I feel you. I feel your pain. Like just comment it, man. I know it hurts, but at least we're gonna learn here. Okay. And guess what? To fulfill, maybe you go find that kid from Pakistan who's gonna do it for $500. And then maybe you're left with 1,000 and you're like, oh wow, I'm making $1,000 profit per client. I remember when this was me in 2021. I was like, oh my God, I'm making $1,000 profit per client. Wow, what an amazing life. And you know what I was comparing it to? I was comparing it to my $2,000 job a month. So I was like, oh my God, with just 2 clients, I can replace my job and I'm not even working. Yeah, that was crazy. Never compare to the broke you. Why would you compare to the broke you? No, that's dumb. There's no point in comparing yourself to you being broke. So now look at this. You have $1,000 profit left. Oh, but you need to pay yourself. Well, I don't know about you, but rent costs a lot of money. So what are you going to do? Are you going to pay rent? Are you going to pay for a car? Are you going to pay for dinner? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like when I go to dinner, it's $600. So what the hell is a client worth to me if they're only paying me $2,500? It does not make any sense to run a business like this. Might as well go work for someone else, go become a nonprofit, and just let God take care of you. Okay. There's no point in doing this business model. You literally are left with nothing. Just because you're making $1,000 profit does not mean you're making anything. It does not mean. And guess what? Since you're left with no money because you've had to pay for living expenses, you have no money to buy the next client, and therefore you have no fucking business. Do you guys understand this? When I don't know how many fucking weird agency, Iman is not weird. I'm gonna say that he's a G. He's a G. He has like 20 models walking around with him. So G shit. But when someone is telling you, like when someone is showing you their lifestyle, and telling you to go start a $2,000 a month company, block them. Okay. $2,000 cannot afford you anything, right? $2,000 does not get you anything in life. Is it clear? Okay. Bilal, I'm gonna kick you out of this Zoom. Why are you trying to follow people while we're teaching here? Did your teacher never block you or kick you outside of the class when you're trying to distract people? Come on, man. Some people, we're in class right now. Class is in session, people. Bilal, you better focus, man. I know your last name too. I know. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna come to India. I have so many clients there. It's crazy. So you better focus, brother. Better focus, my brother. All right, let's get back to work. I love this shit. See, this is what I do for a living. All right. So guys, okay, okay. Let's just do a prayer for understanding this, because this is everything. Like, guys, okay, I'll try to say this one more time because I don't know if I can say it a million times. I know people right now who are making millions a month. People, they're not better. They're not doing better service to their clients. But do you know why? Because they're charging high ticket. And high ticket, they have so many margins that they can afford the next client infinitely, regardless of anything. Can a client buy you the next 20 clients is how you should be pricing, right? You understand this, your life changes. You understand this, penthouse living. You understand this, Porsche driving. You understand this, dinner dates in a different city every night. Because that's what I want to do, right? It's everything. It's everything. And I think you guys are living good. And I'm talking to people who are making money, because I know some people are making money on this call, but you guys are not making any money. It's sad, right? Just because you can take care of yourself does not mean you're living good, right? High ticket is everything. Get each one client to be able to buy the 10 next clients, right? Yeah, Porsche GT3, of course. Come on, bro. You know I don't do none. I was trying to buy 911, but then I'm like, all the brokies have 911s. I ain't trying to be like everyone. Guys, come on, man. I need like a supercar, a race car, and then in winter, I'm gonna put winter tires on it. And I'm gonna whip it around in snow. They're gonna be like, "Oh my God, why would you drive a Porsche GT3 in winter?" I'd be like, "Because I can, brother. I have a high ticket. You don't. Sorry. You have to worry about the price of changing your tires. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? Oh, you're afraid of me crashing the car? Oh, don't worry. One client can buy me a next supercar because they can afford me 300 grand in new revenue. You still haven't gotten the lesson, brother. Get the right lesson today. Damn, I think I'm gonna get some blessings tomorrow because I'm teaching right now. I'm preaching right now. All right, cool. Now, so now when you have something that is good, so essentially all we just went through is literally how do you structure something that is so good that people are willing to pay you a lot of money for it. That's literally everything that this model is. This model is not, oh, we're just going to teach people. We're just going to sell people courses. That's not it. Guys, if you guys try to sell courses, you're going to go broke faster than a broke person already is. You're literally going to go broke, more broke than a broke person is. So please do not do any of that. Avoid that. Okay. There's so much competition in the course, in the information world, right? Regardless if you're actually good. Nobody's going to buy from you because you're the smartest. Never. Nobody buys that, right? Maybe you can buy 7 supercars, but trust me, that ain't going to be cheap. So, but now we're going to get into the actual like systems and how to actually acquire clients for this. I can show you guys this real quick. So there are 5 components of the system. Let me see if I can open this bad boy up. And nope, it's not this one. It's this one. So there's really a few components, really simple. Your offer, we just went through it, how to actually build it out and blah, 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 blah. Of course, we can't go in depth because we don't have all day long. But the next one is acquisition channel. You need an acquisition channel that is frictionless, right? Something that the prospect and the setter is already using daily, right? A lot of people outreach on cold email, or a lot of people outreach on platforms on LinkedIn. I'm like, bro, you don't use LinkedIn every day. Why do you want to use LinkedIn if you don't even use it every day? You need something that has searchability, so ease of searching new leads. And you need, preferably, I always like this, I need a platform that has community, right? And then the next thing is volume and efficiency and effectiveness of outreach. If you're doing less than 300 to 500 DMs per day, you're gonna fail just because you have high ticket. It's not gonna be like, yeah, you need a bunch of impressions every day. And by impressions, I just mean who hears about your offer daily. And then team for infrastructure, I suggest a $3 an hour VA and growth specialist, right? And of course, to allow them to produce a lot, you need technology. So Serge Chat.ai. If you guys don't know, I'll show you guys what the tool looks like. Automated Instagram outreach tool. We also have an Instagram outreach automated tool that we're going to be introducing for our clients. And you need conversion mechanisms. So I prefer something that's leveraged like a VSL. So we use essentially they're value-driven VSLs, like they're value videos, but they're structured like a sales letter. And when we can, we also use a conversation flow. So that creates context. So our growth specialists know how to use conversation to convert. And then the next thing is you need a system. You need a process to consistently follow up with people who've been in your ecosystem, and you need to own attention. I'll repeat this. Every single thing, all the efforts being put here, all the outreach, even paid ads. I'll show you guys a bit of paid ads strategy, or maybe I'm not sure if I'll show you guys, but we're going to be doing that for our clients. Every single thing that you're doing, you need to convert your prospects into an audience, warm them up over time, and convert them when they're ready, right? And attention generating sales assets. So weekly converting, weekly content assets meant to remind your prospect that you still exist, right? So I want to go over the owning attention thing because it's super important. One of the biggest lessons that I got over the last few years is most people are fighting for 3%, right? You know how, if you've been into any advertising course, you know that people are like, there's always 3% of the market that's ready to buy. There's always 30%. So you know what happens? The people who are pushing out all these offers, direct offers, they're all fighting for this 3%. What happens when people, every service provider is fighting over 3% of a marketplace? Well, they end up fighting over leftovers. We don't actually play in this 3%. We don't care. We don't want to play in the 3%. What we do instead is we do cold outreach. We could do paid ads. We do anything to get a cold audience to pay attention to us. And before we try to give them an offer, we want to get them educated. Why? Because when we give them value, they become part of our audience. We drive them into our own Facebook group. We drive them to our email list. And then this is what happens. We don't want an appointment set from here. We only want an appointment set from the owned audience. If you don't own any audience, you're crazy, because you're just fighting over the 3%. You're like, why isn't no one responding to my cold outreach? Why isn't no one doing this? Well, it's because you're DMing the same people that 3,000 other people are DMing. Of course, there's not going to respond. Why would they respond to you when they have 3,000 other people they haven't responded to? Please make it make sense, right? So what we do is we actually, by doing this, by doing cold to educate people, we're turning that 3% into a 9%, from a 9% to a 30%. Imagine if you could create more demand than there is in the marketplace. And then instead of you competing with everyone else who's competing over 3%, you're competing over 9. You're not even competing. You've created demand that only you can leverage. And guess what? Then you give your setters access to your audience, and then they do 2 steps, and then the appointment setting team does magic. That's literally the thought process around how to scale to $500,000. You don't scale $500,000 by like doing what everybody else is doing and fighting over 3% of the marketplace that always want to buy. That's crazy. You don't do that. So offer, of course, I've talked about offer real quick. The 4 components are non-negotiable before you start acquiring clients for your 7-figure leverage consultant business. You need to deliver the most desired outcome of a niche. So sell leads and appointments instead of a website. People who sell websites, stop that. You actually need to deliver the thing that is the most important. Like, you can't sell $500,000 a month off of just website unless you're known, or you're dealing with really high ticket enterprises, right? But I would, to have it easy, sell solutions, sell things that people want more of every day, right? Option 2 for your offer is leverage a trend. Sell a short-form content infrastructure or AI creative system to replace UGC creators. So instead of coming and being like, hey, I want to, do short-form content for you. No, be like, hey, I have 10 grand, give me 10 grand and I'll build out your whole content system. I promise you, you get more money than you've ever. And by the way, Mohiz, please try this out. I know you're on the call. I think you're still on the call. I don't know. All right. Delivery model, build and release. No strings attached, no recurring charges. Make the offer a no-brainer. Example, compare the cost of paying an agency or going through courses, wasting time learning how to do things alone, versus paying $10,000 once and never experience the pain or achieve your desired outcome with the most certainty. People don't care about you doing things for them, or no, they just care about like, hey, can I get what I want now? And can I do it effortlessly? So maybe do it for me. And then what you want to do in your offer is you also want to throw in some additional conditional guarantees and bonuses to make it unreasonable for them not to buy. As an example, if you implement this for 90 days and you don't get your desired outcome, I'll work for free until you do, or refund your money. It can also be an option. In this case, the prospect will want to buy because they feel safe that if they can't get the desired result, they'll get their money back. And again, this is what I just covered. 1 acquisition channel. I don't think you guys should be using like cold email, Facebook, LinkedIn. No, you just focus on 1, okay? And preferably leverage an audience. $3 an hour, guys. We have our setters going crazy every day. They're just booking a whole bunch of calls for different businesses. Not just, like every day we're getting at least 3 or 5 calls booked. Growth specialists, we have a process around creating, training growth specialists and becoming growth specialist, all that good stuff. So this is good. Serge chat, of course, for those who haven't used the tool, this is essentially a tool that that syncs all your IG, all your outreach on social media on 1 single platform. So you'll have my growth specialist, Anthony, who's on Instagram, who's on Twitter, who's leveraging, I believe he was also leveraging LinkedIn and Facebook and Telegram. So he does outreach here. And when he's doing outreach, he when you click here, the message, I mean, I've already made a video about this tool, but if you want to check it out, go check it out. But essentially all the messages are pre-built here. I'll show you guys real quick. So, so all the messages are here. And when you click, I mean, guys, I don't think right now is the time to prioritize this tool. It's really good. I suggest using it. Automated IG outreach tool. Should I share it? I don't think I should share it, but I guess no, I won't share it right now. But yeah, we'll launch it soon. Conversion mechanism. You need a process selling VSL. So you need a VSL that kind of like goes through selling people. You need to be able to sell your process at scale and educate your prospects about what you do, how you do it, and generate calls with prospects who are ready to sell their car to work with you. So if you guys are the type of people who jump on calls and people are like, what exactly do you do? Like, stop that. Just start leveraging VSLs and start educating people before they get on a sales call, right? So that's something that we do when we're doing outreach is we'll literally do a whole bunch of direct value pitch. 20% of people will respond, and then we'll introduce a process and offer value. 50% of people will say yes. And then we'll literally send them a VSL that goes over your company, case study after case study, process that you use to solve their problem, and a soft call to action, right? Really simple. And I think Muhiz just closed a 3K per month deal, literally from a direct outbound message from his VA, right? And so essentially it was really simple. DM'd, asked, send them a VSL, and the guy was educated, and then he asked to book a call, and then he paid an invoice. You know what's funny here is the VA is only costing him $300 a month, right? So this is the unit economics of how valuable it is to use VAs. So $300 per month. VA sends, let's say, 150 DMs per day, right? Gets you 10 to 20 people to watch your VSL. And let's say 10% of people convert into a call. That's 1 or 2 calls per day, right? And then Muhiz used this he paid a VA $300 a month, and this VA generated him a 3K client. Would you invest $300 to make 3K a month? I mean, I would do it every day. I mean, I would do it 10 times a day if I could, right? If you're not doing this, you're crazy. And then we also have, examples of conversation workflows that we've either used for our own offers or our clients' offers. So this is if you're using Growth Specialist. This is one for our clients. So it's pretty complex. That's why I'd rather you guys use a VSL. And then we also have, sales systems. You need a CRM, you need a quasi-periodic email sequence. You need something that can follow up with people over 90 days to 4 months. You need to own your audience. I've already explained this. Every outreach, every ad, every value video you share, bring you leads, and your job is to convert this lead's attention into something you own. If you don't own people's attention, let me show you just some of the most amazing companies that we know. Facebook or Meta earned $30 billion in Q4 in 90 days. Alphabet earned $7.96 billion from YouTube in Q4 of last year, just because they were selling attention. They're selling our attention, and this is what our attention is worth: 30 billion, 8 billion, right? I don't think I need to say more about the importance of owning attention, do I? I don't think I do. Leveraging attention-generating sales assets. So attention-generating sales assets are meant to consistently be nurturing your audience and converting them into appointments without you doing much. So as an example, like this is an asset that I built to get 300,000 impressions for free. I didn't have to pay anything. And I put it on a funnel. People watched it, booked the call, and that's it. It's literally like my God, I'm giving value to get attention. And once I get the attention, I kind of like own the attention, right? And we also have a client who's part of the hundreds. Before State, he was previously in Ham. He scaled his company from 20K per month to 40K per month, and decided to join the hundreds week of 13th of May. So he decided to join during that week. And we did the same thing. We built an attention during his sales asset, and we sent it to his email list, and look at how many calls he booked. 3:51 p.m., 3:52, 4 p.m., like literally 4 calls in less than 12 minutes. And I actually wrote his email for him, funny enough. That's something that I'm doing with the hundreds. I'm actually like writing bangers for my clients because I love them. It's only right. And that same day, so a few hours later, an hour later, up to 6 calls, booked calls and a bunch of people in his Facebook group. And the next day at 10 a.m., he had booked 14 calls in less than 24 hours. I was like, hey man, let's start looking for flights to Europe, right? Because his goal is to try to do vacation with his family, with his wife. So I was like, hey, let's do it. And he had 76 new leads in his Facebook group, which is really good. So this is kind of like what we do, right? And then he was selling a 5K offer. So he had a consulting, coaching, mentorship offer for his business, right? But he comes from he had so many different services. I was like, we don't need that. We just need one 10K offer, and that's it. Put everything. We helped him build his offer, and he had his first. So 10 days after being part of the hundreds, he had his first 10K client say yes, and he had to send an invoice. And I asked him, hey, how does it feel getting the first yes for a $10,000 fee? He's like, hey, it feels just right. It was no brainer for them. Has me thinking of just going with bigger companies that expect that amount, and I position it as a systems offer, right? It's everything. When you position something as, hey, this is something you own in your company, $10,000 doesn't actually seem that big. All right, cool. Has it been helpful? We're about to go into some full systems talk. Let me know if you guys are excited for it. Let me know in the chat. We're going to need to fire it up.
Boom. Okay, awesome. Hey guys. Hey Serge.
All right. So let me introduce you, Katie. You gotta relax. We gotta take it slow. We're not going anywhere, right? So for those who don't know, Katie, or I mean, a lot of you don't know, but Katie is the new COO of Client Acquisition.io. And I thought it would be good for me to kind of like get her to share some insights on today's webinar. So yeah. So Katie, I'm gonna just let you come here and do your thing.
Cool. Okay. Thanks for the love in chat. I'm going to present here something that I prepared over the last few weeks, and basically that is chaos doesn't scale. All right. So a lot of you guys here in the chat are asking like, okay, how can I charge higher prices? How can I make sure that I position myself correctly in the market and I have like an advantage over other people who are pitching the exact same offer as me? And you know, as you're trying to scale and bring more clients in, what is going to happen is chaos, right? So I want to show you how exactly you can manage that chaos, because that chaos is not going to allow you to scale. All right. So I'm going to share my screen quickly. Cool. So the presentation is chaos doesn't scale, as you guys may know. And, you know, if you've been in the market long enough, you know that most people's marketing looks like this, but then the back end looks like that, right? And then you have people who drop out after 1 week, like this guy in the chat was sharing. So what I'm going to show you is how you can make sure that the front end and the back end actually looks exactly the same. And actually the back end is what is pushing the marketing. All right, so before I get started with that part, I want to quickly like present myself, and I'm just going to show you here a bit like who I am, what I have built, and you know why Serge decided that I should be the CEO of client acquisition. So I was a student in Greece studying physics, making $3 an hour, building literally the digital marketing of a local business in Greece. And then at 19 years old, I decided that, this is not for me. I should go to Denmark. It's a rich country, right? Like I would be making more money. That was not exactly the case because I was in a rich country being broke, right? And I tried all sorts of hustles. I was a waitress and also doing e-commerce, fulfilling, literally doing absolutely anything so I can just, get my first client, make a bit of money and all this and survive. And then what happened is that I wanted to actually start my own agency. And that's how I met actually Bastian Slot, who was actually my first mentor right here. You can see that I had my first call with him. And I was like super thrilled because I was like, great, we're going to make a lot of money. It's going to be awesome. That didn't exactly happen. So I just went back to like grinding. And in the meantime, I also started Muay Thai. I was competing and all this. So yeah, it was a bit crazy doing all these things. And in the meantime, Bastian also offered me to be like an executive assistant for his business. He was making like 80K. I was literally his second hire. And, I was supposed to be an executive assistant, but in reality, I was literally building about everything, right? So I was building trackers, I was building systems. I was like onboarding people. I was literally doing everything, right? And that's how I also met Serge. And 6 months in, we actually made 500K and 60% profit margins, right? Which is, if you think about it, is kind of crazy, right? Like having that kind of growth and scaling to 500K with just one operator on the back end, right? So how did we actually do that? We built all the operations from scratch. Finance tracking, client onboarding, sales CRM, client materials, automations, and accountability. And that's what got Bastian to, 500K and then later on to 1 million per month. Within 1 year, I was promoting to COO. It seems like I love being in this position, actually. I coached multiple people who were millionaire clients and managed their systems so they can actually copy what exactly we're doing and then the infrastructure. So we launched our offers. The mastermind that is 50K actually right now is you'll still find my content over there. What I had built back then is still over there. The clients were using our systems and they were making 200K plus per month consistently, right? So you can see the power of systems and you can see that people on a higher level, what they're looking for is not like, oh, what is the next marketing or what is the next offer? What they're looking for is like, how can I keep doing what I'm doing consistently? And how can I make sure that my backend is not breaking, right? So this is how I was actually helping over there. And what happened is after some time, I had outgrown my role and I wanted to do things the right way, right? I wanted to add more value. I wanted to help more people because I knew exactly how I can help them, right? So this was the position. And later on, what I did is I improved the 7-figure systems, started with my own team and clients. This is how I started working again with Serge. I started consulting the COO of Dan Henry, work with multiple people, August, Romain, Armin, all these people. And then actually in just a short time frame, I actually managed to have a life that it was impossible to me when I was making like $3 per hour, right? So this was the reality. And I want to actually show you here how you can actually do the same with your business and what does 7-figure systems actually stand for. So you can hire talent, people can stay and want to work with you, your clients want to work with you, and you actually have a machine, right? So the 7-figure systems actually stands for building a business machine. You remove the chaos, you hire the right people, you build trust in the market, and then you afford to raise your prices. If you go and raise your prices and your business looks like this, you're going to fail very hard. Okay, so let's look into this. The first problem businesses face is making sales. The second problem is operations and fulfillment, meaning quality, speed, and actually what is happening is they're working more and they're making less. So in an era where everything is like actually super easy, right? Like anyone can make money online if you know human psychology and economics, yet very few people are actually getting to the point where they're making $500,000 or $1 million per month, even though they're like super hyped and motivated to do so, right? So what is wrong? They're trying to scale chaos, right? So at some point, when you're trying to scale from like, let's say 20K to 30K to 50 to 100, You get new team members, you get new clients, new problems, new everything, right? It's absolute chaos. And you're trying to manage that chaos and also keep growing your business, right? Because now you have the momentum. You're like, oh, I shouldn't stop marketing, right? But in reality, things are failing. You don't know your numbers and you have started entering the race to the bottom. And this is happening just because your backend is an absolute chaos, all right? So again, the marketing and the backend, right? And I have worked with a lot of guys out there that you guys are probably looking up to, and I'll tell you this, most of them, they're coming to work with me because they have, they have nailed the marketing, but their backend looks terrible. Their margins are super low. They don't even know their numbers. They don't know who they're supposed to be hiring and who they're supposed to be firing, all right? So the thesis here is, what if you had a solid backend foundation? You made more while working less. You knew exactly how to manage your team, and your systems and automations were doing the heavy lifting. Now, it might sound like a dream, like, okay, how am I supposed to be doing this, right? But actually, it is very possible, and that's exactly what we built for our clients, right? But because on the marketing space, a lot of people are just going to focus on book a few more calls, get your new client, follow this IG shoutouts method. None of them is actually talking about this part, which is the actual real thing you will hear on the most masterminds you join, and people who actually make money. This is what they're talking about. All right. So eliminating chaos doesn't mean bringing 10 VAs. I also saw that along the chat. Where can I find the next VA? Where can I find this and that, right? You can bring more VAs and you can build 10 Google Sheets on your own. You can watch a few videos, you can buy a few templates and build that. But that's going to result to chaos times 10, right? Because now you have to manage the trackers, now you have to manage the VAs, and I have to do all of this while managing your clients, the fulfillment, and actually more marketing, right? So what I actually mean with the business machine being dialed in, it means decluttering your business, what actually works and what doesn't work, right? Keeping only what is going to scale you to your goal. It could be $500,000 or $1 million per month. And then every hire, every metric, every component of your business are strategically created and placed in order for you to win, right? I see a lot of people that are trying to track absolutely everything. That's not what you should be doing, right? You need to track the things that actually move the needle and the things that actually matter. So that's exactly why I created the 7-figure systems mechanism, where I took all the pieces of what was actually working from these clients, like Basim, like Serge, right? August, Romain, so many people out there. And I organized everything so that the team can actually deliver. And now we're scaling businesses to $500,000 to $1 million per month. So every day you can decide if you want to go to the race to the bottom, meaning you can sell what everyone else is selling, right? And just try to go for the cash, quick cash, fast, or you can go for the race to the top, meaning having a sustainable business and a business model that works on its own without your daily input, without you stressing about every single client. Because if that's the case, it's better if you go find a job as a closer or an appointment setter and you're settled, right? So if you want to go to the race to the top, then you need the 7-figure systems, all right? So to me, the answer is obvious. If you're going to go to the race to the top or to the bottom, I would always choose the top, right? And this is exactly what consultants making 7 figures are focusing on. And I'm telling you this from experience by actually working with these people, right? Remove the chaos, get to the top with your team and yourself there, right? So when it comes to the actual systems, and I'll put the link also in the chat so you know what exactly you need to be building. This is basically a list of things that you need. All right. And what does that mean? It practically means you need your sales CRM and infrastructure in place. You need the reporting in place for your sales goals, for your team, knowing exactly who's performing, who isn't performing. So then you can keep the good people and remove the bad people in the company. Team goal setting, content creations, and IG shadows management. All these things that you would actually go externally and hiring, you could actually bring that in-house if you have the right system. All right. automating the client onboarding process, so you don't have to hire like 3 people just onboarding. Trackers to elevate the client experience. So, and also giving them the actual results that they want. Having a client CRM and wins management. Having a scalable delivery, of course, team performance, managers accountability, cash collected, cash out, all these things. Now, it might seem like it's a lot, but this is how you build an actual business, right? Like you have the different departments, like the sales, the team, the client delivery, the operations, the finance, all these things need to be taken care of. And they need to be taken care of as if they are an ecosystem. So this is exactly what we build with the 7-figure systems. And this is something you need to be paying attention to if your goal is to actually scale your business without selling your soul at the end of it. All right. So yeah, super excited to be working with Serge, also as a COO, also with the offer that we're working together, building systems for the clients. So yeah, I hope this was helpful.
Mhm. Thank you, Katie. Guys, just a quick lesson here. You won't attract Katie if you're broke. That's all I'm saying. Katie's not going to come into your business and do a Webby with you if you're running a 30K a month agency, or even a 100K a month business, even $500,000, because at this point everybody's making $500,000 a month, right? You need to be running something that where she feels like, oh, this is actually about to get big, so this is actually worth, kind of like joining forces, right? And I don't know about this, but yeah, guys, that's it. Okay, you can stop sharing your screen now. Let me get back to my job, what I do best. All right, guys, but yeah, guys, like you don't get talented people in a company if you're not already like so good that you can actually afford to create enough space for themselves to be successful. So for me, as an example, when I look at client acquisition at IO, it's like you can make millions from within client acquisition at IO. You don't need to go outside, right? And funny enough, 8 figures, 9-figure companies, you don't get there by trying to like get the guy that you know is not good, but you can afford him, so you should hire them. Like cheaping out on talent has got to be the most ridiculously dumbest thing, hunter-gatherer mindset that you can have. If you have people in your company who aren't good, and you'd rather have people who are bad so you can afford to have more profits, I don't even think you should be on this webinar, to be honest, because it doesn't make sense. It does not make any sense. Talented people create the life you want, not the money you have in your bank account. If you have more profit margin than talent, that's all you have to show for. Like, it doesn't mean anything. For me, I'm actually, when someone says, oh, I'm running 80% margins, I'm like, oh, poor guy. You have yet to understand business. So highly important to get big, get rid of some money, hire better people than you, right? I don't try to hire people who I know more than. I try to hire people who know more than me consistently, right? So let's get this thing. All right, so this one I'm excited for, right? Because the biggest objection about selling one-off offers, right? So the 7-figure leverage consultant, you're prioritizing selling one-off things upfront, collecting really high ticket, collecting a bunch of money upfront. But the biggest objection that a lot of people are like, oh, but I prefer recurring revenue. I want recurring revenue from the agency model. I want to have an F50K, 100K, 200K MRR. Well, okay, cool. Well, let me tell you how actually by being a monthly recurring agency owner, you're actually doing it the wrong way, right? What if I told you that the 7-figure leverage consultant provides you with the best transition to a recurring model than being a recurring business model actually does, right? So this is for a non-leveraged agency trying to build up their MRR, this is what they do. They'll hire 10 setters. They'll try cold email. They'll try paid ads. They'll pay Cole Gordon $18K for a setter. I saw that Cole Gordon is charging 18 grand for a setter. I'm like, holy shit. He must have watched my training on the pricing. I think he's my twin. He understands everything. And you buy all this shit, and guess what? Nothing works. But you have to grow, or else you can't afford that 50K Rolex that all your friends have. So you're like, hey man, I need to push hard. I need to grind so I can get the watch. I can get the Patek Philippe, because Iman can't be the only one wearing Patek Philippe's, man. I don't like that. Okay. And then, so you go back to managing your own cold email outreach or Facebook outreach and make fake scarcity stories on your Instagram saying that you only have room for one client. Come on, bro. I think you only have one client. It's not that you only have room for one more client, you know? Like, stop lying, brother. Stop lying, brother. We live in this business game. We know scarcity. We know a little bit urgency. We do this for a living. Please don't lie to me that you only have room for one client. Please, like, stop doing that shit. It's like, come on, brother. You have room for like 100 clients. Okay. So, but you know, since you're back into it, you're focused, you're doing all the hard work, you're watching all my YouTube videos, you're checking everything, you're looking at my DMs, you're booking calls with my team, so you know how to actually do business correctly. You get lucky and you acquire one client after weeks of hard work, right? Well, let me show you guys what the 7-figure leverage consultant model looks like when someone like me actually wants to build 100K a month. Let's say I want to make an extra 100 grand a month this month. You know what I do? I don't make fake stories like, hey, I only have room for one more client. I may do it if I feel scared. If I feel scared and I want the GT3 faster. So I'll lie to you guys. I'll be like, hey, I only have, you know, room for one client. Trying to just, you know, it's bullshit. But anyway, I'll wake up, I'll send a message in my community about a growth management offer. And by 9 a.m. the next day, I'll have 120 grand in new revenue signed. No outreach, no nothing. It's just like, hey, who wants to do more business with me? And by next day, I'm just made 106, an extra 6 figures that year. And why is that? Why is this the best? Why is this more important versus this crazy thing that most people do, right? 7-figure leverage consultant provides you with the ability to build out your client base, okay? And I'm going to try to explain this to you guys why this is probably the most important thing that everyone here has to understand. So let's do this thought experiment or this thought exercise where you are an investor in a company, you're an investor, right? Are you going to invest in an agency with 100K a month coming in from 10 clients? Or are you going to invest in a 7FLC agency? Because it is an agency. It is because you do done for you. You also do consulting, or you might do coaching. It doesn't matter. But you're making 100 grand a month with coming from, I would say, I mean, okay, so, okay, let's try to do it this way. 1 mil per month, because it's going to be easier for me to explain it with bigger numbers, right? 1 mil per month coming from, I would say, coming from 20 partners or 25 partnerships. So growth management offer. And let's try to say that 25 people are paying 10K a month. So 20 people paying 10K a month each. 25K, I mean, 25 people. And then you have 100 clients per month, every month coming in. So these are new clients, paying each, let's say 7 0.5. Which business would you invest in? Can someone tell me? So this is 250K a month. And then this is 750K. Can you put it in the chat which company you would invest in? There you go. Tal said less risk. This is every fucking thing. We are not agency owners. We are not consultants. We are investors. We invest money and time in a manner where our time invested in time gives us the most amount of sustainability and wealth over the long run. It's not about, hey, I'm lazy. I don't want to work with a bunch of clients. I only want 10 clients paying me 100 grand a month. Okay, cool. That's good. But you lose one client and you just lost an extra 100 grand. And guess what? The cost to fulfill on $1 million is still the same because the OPEX here, the operation expenses, are still the same. But the beautiful thing about this model is if you have less clients coming in this month, well, you may not need $1 million team to fulfill. You can just kind of like not have that many people the next month because you don't need them, right? But as an agency, the cost to fulfill is going to stay the same whether you lose half of your clientele here or not, because the team you're using to fulfill for these 10 clients is not going to be smaller for 100 for just 2 clients or 10 clients. So here you can kind of like play around because the team can be smaller based on the revenue, but here you cannot. How many agency owners here can't, regardless of how good they're doing, can't actually have a smaller team? How many people need the exact same team to fulfill on 25 grand or 100? No. So how many people here, even if they were to lose 30% of their clientele, would still need to have the same size team? Right? It's crazy. So what we do is we're kind of like mitigating the downside. If you lose 20 clients here, who cares? Is you just lost an extra, I don't know, like what, like 140K, right? But you still got a lot of money coming in. You can actually acquire, it's a lot easier to acquire these clients than these who will pay you like 10 or 100 grand a month, right? So 20% of this base wants more selection, right? Because when you're signing people at 10K, you're actually going to be acquiring clients, a percentage of it. So a percentage of people who go through my $500,000 program actually would love more from me. It's not like in the $500,000 program, we're giving everything we know about business building. No, we're just doing it in a manner where it's efficient to scale, right? But if I launch something new, like the hundreds, 20% of the client base would be like, hey, Serge, I'm actually interested in the hundreds because they want more selection. They want a better experience. They want better everything, and they're willing to pay for it. And guess what? Then this is the most beautiful thing. They've already been anchored at paying high ticket for your services. So your monthly retainer actually becomes a downsell that they are happy to pay. And let me show you guys how Gym Launch did it. When Gym Launch was making like $1 million a month, or multiple 8 figures a year, they had a 16K upfront program, okay, to these gym owners. And these gym owners weren't necessarily rich. A lot of these gym owners were making less than 6 figures a year, right? And they were selling them 16K upfront. But you know what their big program like legacy, like Gym Lords program cost? It only cost 3K a month. Now, you tell me, what's harder to sell? To take someone from 3K a month to paying you more money, or to take someone who's paid you 16 grand to sell them something that costs 3K a month? Do you guys understand it now? You're taking someone who's already been anchored at a high fee and being like, hey, for to like for like almost like 1/5 of your of what you paid me up front, I can actually give you more value, right? And that's how they went crazy with Gym Launch. Gym Launch is not necessarily based off of like they're doing the same thing that everybody does, right? But they were able to scale because they had something up front, and then the upsell was actually a downsell. They were charging not necessarily less, but they were charging less monthly, right? And how is it to close someone who's already paid you that much, maybe money on a smaller retainer plus a rev share? The beautiful thing is when you become a growth partner to these to your clients who want more value, you get to charge a little less on a retainer and more like the other on a rev share. And the beautiful thing is that you've already been paid to do the heavy lifting. And this is even another added benefit of this model. Because they've already paid the 16K or the 10K or the 15K up front. You've already built them the infrastructure. So that means that by the time they go on your management service, they already have the thing you need to make them successful. So you don't have to build. There's less work, right? So it's actually easy to make more money with the client, right? So yeah, guys. So far, we've talked about speed, the importance of speed by building an offer and actually having all the components in your company, in your offer that actually gives the clients the thing they want. Only charging high ticket. If you're collecting less than 10K per each client you work with, change the way you do things. Importance of leveraging leverage, I guess, and how you can leverage it with the 7-figure leverage consultant model. Importance of productizing your service and delivering it in phases. Kind of like taking a lesson from these car manufacturers that were more productive, regardless of having a smaller team or having more products to focus on. Theory of constraints. I think you guys should stop trying to get the performance of a Porsche and a Mazda. So right now your businesses are Mazdas, but you guys want the same maneuvering, you want the same performance, you want the same everything from, you want $1 million a month result in a 30K a month vehicle, right? So stop trying to be in a rush. You just don't have the right model. Like, stop trying to get so much from something that it's not the thing, right? You don't go in a Mazda and try to become an F1 driver, right? You go get the supercar. You work hard, you figure out the supercar, and then you go learn on the track, right? That's something that you guys need to understand. And then the 5 components of 500K a month client acquisition infrastructure. And then Katie went over the systems. And then I also went over the value that, you know what, instead of trying to be like everybody here is, trying to become scale an agency so hard and being stressed all the time, build a productized service, sell people, and then your best clients, just have them on a done for you basis where you're making them shit ton of money. You're making a shit ton of money from the best clients. Don't try to serve the broke people. And this is the issue. When you have an agency, anybody who wants to book a call, you want to sell them, even if they can't benefit from your service. You're like, oh yeah, I'm excited. I have this new client. Oh, we're about to kill it. 1 month in, you're like, fuck, man, I should have not signed you. So they actually create a bad experience versus working with the best people. The 7-figure leverage consultant model allows you to sell people something. And the best people in your something, you're like, hey, I think you have amazing potential as a client. Your company has great potential. Would you mind if I actually paid you more attention and scaled you personally? The price is way less than what they paid up front, at least the perceived price. They're all going to say yes. So now you have clients that have already paid you, paying you more, and they become the best of clients. Right? Like the clients on the hundreds, they're the best clients. Right? Because they trust me. Because they've already done business with me. Right? Cool. All right. All right. So that's it. Is it helpful? Right? Was our time together thus far enjoyable for you guys? Can you please drop it in the chat? Please, just run it up. And have you guys found it valuable? Let me know what was maybe something that was maybe valuable out of this. What is something that you guys have gotten from it? And are you guys, who here is excited to maybe test this 7 FLC model with your business? I'd love to see how many people would actually are interested in leveraging it. And have you guys thought of structure, how you would structure your fulfillment so far? Like maybe in a more of a kind of like your fulfillment so that it becomes more of a no-brainer? Love it. Do you see how this build to release model can help you guys charge 10 times as much as you're currently charging? All right. And then also with the 7-figure leverage consultant model, do you guys see how it's easier to remove yourselves? Because now it's about phases and not about what's in your mind, right? The recording, guys, you guys are going to get, feel like retarded. If I did outreach, I deserve to be paid 300 bucks. If I want to close, add an employee to myself. All right, cool, guys. So I have absolute confidence that, you know, everyone here can take everything we just covered today and literally go on to just putting it into action and get the results that you previously thought were impossible, like I personally did in 2021. Like when I did this transition, guys, like I did not know what was about to happen. I literally did not expect it at all. And I'm certain that with the information we've covered on the webinar today, left on your own resources, your own time, your own space, you know, you can kind of like make a go at this in a way that most people will never be able to. And if, you know, if that was the only option, it would be a worthy ideal to pursue. But what if there were another option that allow us to go at this together? A chance to go deeper than we can in a few hours on one Webby, connecting together just once. What if client acquisition.io played an active role in your results, took responsibility in your success, and had an obligation to your outcome? You know, how would that make things different? If instead of going at it alone, I could come in your business as a partner and help you go through the same transformation that I've gone through in the last 2 years, you know, would this be something that you guys would love to learn more about and what we could do for you guys? Let me know in the chat. Just blow it up because I got something. I got something that is a little special today. I don't know if you, because this Webby just started, like, by the way, this is just getting started, right? Just leave a comment, blow it up. So with great pleasure, I'd like to introduce to you guys something that I actually thought about building when I got back from a trip somewhere in the state to talk to someone who everybody like is raving about, a guy who's going crazy online recently. And he told me like, hey, like instead of you trying to go too crazy, like you should build something where you give the most amount of value to the best clients. And I decided to build the hundreds, right? The hundreds is essentially it's like a community where you become client acquisition.io's partner and allow me and my team to help you go through the same transition we went through in the last 24 months. And it is our 12 months growth consulting and management offer where we take each partner to 100 grand profit per month minimum. That means that if you're already doing 150K at 200 grand a month, then we're just literally going to triple your current revenue by introducing a 10K to 25K build and release offer in our partners company. So we will build this offer for you, okay? And it will look something like, you know, we're going over gathering data about your industry, offering consulting, you know, kind of like figuring out what angle you should use to sell, your pricing. Instead of you going ahead and pricing yourself, we'll take care of it. And then also crafting the offer and the positioning that you need to leverage. We've built this framework around picking the mechanisms needed in an offer based on scenarios that actually lead to failure. I mean, I could go into this, but we can go over that sometime. But allowing you to only deal with quality clients who can afford your service, who have the resources to successfully implement and manage your insights and increase the success rate of your services. A lot of you guys are selling things that work, but because you're selling it to broke people and to people who aren't committed, you guys are getting, your service ends up being shit because of the people you're selling into the thing, not because the actual mechanism is bad, but because who you're selling it to. And the goal is you only need 5 to 10 new clients, maybe 20 if you really want to scale it hard, to make amazing profits, to, working the least you've ever worked because your margins afford you great talent. And also never worry about the cost to acquire a client, because with just one client's revenue, you can afford to buy 10 more clients. We also install our 5 calls per day system, growth team, sales systems. We actually come in and build out the whole sales process for you. Like we design the sales process. We go crazy with it, right? Your trackers, end of day, all that good stuff. So everything that we have internally, you get. And just to give you guys context, my current growth team is booking anywhere from 15, 20, 30, 40, 56 calls in a single day, right? And Robert takes our discovery calls. His calendar sometimes is insane. Sometimes I'm like, Jesus Christ. But the goal is for you to never experience an empty calendar, as you'll now have the ability to predictably generate sales appointments. Copy pasting our acquisition model in your business will change the game for you. And the most important thing, though, is I like the fact that you never have to feel needy on calls. If a prospect isn't qualified, you'll be excited to not accept them. So as an example for me, when my team is having these many calls a day and we get on a call with you and we're like, oh, you're not qualified. Like we're not trying to, we don't really care about taking your money, because we have an overabundance of people we talk to. So we don't actually care about you buying or not. And if you're not qualified, we're happy to tell you that you're not qualified, which is something that not many service providers have ever think they'll ever be able to, right? They're always trying to sell anyone with a heartbeat, and never be needed in the appointment setting process, other than building phases and experience, and, like other than in the building phase, and, start experiencing real freedom for the first time. We're also going to be kind of like going in and installing our $4 million sales process, sales script, kind of things like advanced sales training. So this is something that I got from training that I went through. This was used to generate over 20 million. So I use this to build my sales team. We're going to help our clients, our partners, build their sales teams too. We'll review your current sales process, sales group. If it's not perfect, we'll rebuild it. I've made more money from removing myself from selling than I ever made closing on my own deal. So if you're still selling yourself for your own service, holy shit, you haven't yet felt what freedom feels like, right? And, once you have a few closers making you a few millions per year, I promise you, you'll feel what happiness feels like. So we also have weekly marketing focus. So this is something that I wanted to do, right? So like I said, I went to this trip in the States a few months ago, right? And one of the things that I saw, because they're scaling companies from a few millions to a lot of more millions, and I realized that the main thing that they do is really, it's like priority. They help companies prioritize what should be done. And I learned from it because they have like a lot of really good talent, a lot of people from the top consulting companies. And I was like, wow, what if every partner that we work with, we help them prioritize weekly, meaning their marketing is going to be designed by us week by week. Just like we would do marketing for our business, every client by Monday morning, they have the focus for the week. So we detail the focus for the week. We assign the training you need to go through if it's something that is needed by you, or if it's something by your growth team, then we'll actually give that to them, right? And week by week, we go at it together, and we're just building every single week. So client acquisition, that I was growth consultants, will be leading the marketing focus each week and setting priorities for the week based on what needs to be solved and to grow your company. Never not have the clarity you need to scale your business. And 3 to 5x the productivity of your team to achieve the growth that you deserve. So a lot of you guys can see that this is kind of like, is also like a focus thing. So week 1, week 2, week 3, we're going to go week by week, and we want to make sure that your team is actually producing. A lot of people, companies don't work. Like a lot of people have team members who don't do shit because they don't know what to do, right? And then every single week we'll be doing weekly performance reviews based on you, the leader, but also your appointment setting team, your closers, and everything. But I think that the most valuable thing is having someone actually tell you, hey man, you're not fucking doing what you're supposed to be doing as a leader, right? Someone to keep you accountable, someone to make sure that you're actually leading a company and not just thinking that just because you've made some money that you're the one who knows everything. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. It's always good to get someone who's seen it before, done it before at a higher level, tell you like, hey, by the way, you're not as good as you think you are. So change if you want to change, right? And then these are some of the systems we'll build. So this is going to help us kind of like track the performance of your team, your sales team, your outreach team, all that good stuff, right? And then using data and productivity, we'll measure the performance of each team in your company and keep you and your team accountable to become the team worth generating millions of dollars per year, as we'll have the impact and also have the impact that you deserve. A lot of people think that you can just make millions with a team that is only generating 30K a month. Come on, bro. Something needs to change. You need different people in your company. It's not like you don't expect someone who's built $1 million company to go and build Amazon. No, you find people who've already made companies billions, and then you hire them, bring them in your company, and you're like, hey guys, what should we do? Right? If we look at guys like Hormozy, if you go in his acquisition.com is not made of people who have sold courses. It's made of some of the smartest people on the planet. So he goes and finds people who've done it before, and then he leverages them to actually scale the company, right? Who wants to know the price of this for this bad boy? You put a sale for on my house already. Bogdan said, I'm too broke for this part of the webby. Man, I understand you, brother. You get there at some point. So the price is really simple. Before I go over the price, let me just tell you guys what you guys are getting access to. So the value of what you'll be getting is the same model and infrastructure that has generated us over $4 million in the last 2 years, 2.5 years. The cost of the team you're getting access to cost me $1.8 million a year. Like sometimes I'll be looking at my expenses every month. I'm like, man, thank God I'm not someone who stresses easily, because 150 grand coming out of your pocket every month kind of like stings a little bit, right? But I know that $1.8 million is buying me 8 figures worth of success. So that's how I see it. So you're getting access to my team. I've spent the last 2 years working hard to find the talent that has worked, that has allowed me to achieve this success. And I've gotten lucky finding some of the most consistent, talented, and hardworking people. I've wasted over hundreds of thousands of dollars hiring and firing people. So members of the hundreds don't have to go through the same process. And here is the investment of the hundreds. So the hundreds is not cheap. That's all I can say. And it's not meant for people who aren't necessarily successful already. So it's 100K a year. But today, what I wanted to do is kind of like do a better pricing, which is 20K upfront and then 5K per month. But there are requirements. You need to be doing over 25K per month. You need to have great service. You need to have great results. If you do not have a consistent way of delivering results for your clients, this isn't for you, right? And the second thing is, you need to be interested in our offer. So if you actually would love to work with us, we're glad to work with you if you have results. Guys, the reason why I went from where I was, like here, the reason why I went from 12K to making 400 grand the following year is not because I was doing better outreach than most people. It's because I was doing something that was delivering great results. And the reason why I went from here to here is the same thing. It's just that I got a better model to scale. So if you're struggling to even make 300 grand a year, trust me, it's not because you're not a great marketer. It's mainly because you may not actually have a good way of delivering results, right? So if you guys are interested in this offer, can someone put the link to speak with the team in the chat, please? Someone on the team, can you guys send a link to the team? Yeah. So if you guys can, if you want, you can book a call with my team. But guys, I'm only starting because this offer that I'm about to make is ridiculous, right? And check this out. So this is just just the beginning, okay? But check this out. So it's 100K a year, 20K upfront, 5K a month. You need to be making money already. So you need to feel like you need to have, so this is how I was feeling back then in 2021. I knew I could get people's results, but I was pissed off that other people who were doing less than me, and I'm still pissed off till this day. Because sometimes I see people making more money than me, like Cole Gordon, he's selling at 18K. Someone is selling 18K. He's literally sold 18K. And you know what? The person who paid 18K didn't even get to the placement. He did not even get a placement. And Cole is making like $2-3 million a month. Like, are you kidding me, bro? It's crazy. So we're only looking for 5 partners, by the way. This is a partnership. So this is not like a program that we're trying to scale. This is actually like, I want people who have amazing offers, amazing team. And you just need to know that what you're doing is really getting amazing results for your clients, and you're just pissed off that you're not successful. Please do me a favor. Book a call with my team. Like, I will pay you to book a call with my team if you have a great fulfillment model, if you have a great insight, meaning you know something that a lot of people don't know, and you do it well, really well, and you think a lot of people would value it, just speak with my team, okay? I love it. Now, best of all, by signing up today and being part of the first 3 partners. So for the first 3 people out of 5 who join the hundreds, you're going to get your hands on some insane bonuses. And this is where things get amazing. And please, even if you can't afford this shit, please pay attention. Like, this is crazy. So if you sign up today, I will personally build your 10, 20K offer. I will walk you through how I've built the 4 different 100K a month offers in the last 7 months with clientacquisition.io. So all the offers that we've launched in the last 7 months, I think hit 90, 100K in the first 4 weeks. So I've done this a million times. I'm going to pick the components of your offer for you. So I'll look at what you're delivering, and I'll be like, hey, this should be put into a phase. You should stop doing this. You should do this instead. And I'll help you build out the phases, and I'll help you pick your pricing. Not pick your pricing from the perspective of you who've never made a lot of money, so you're scared to actually charge a lot of money. No, I'll set the price based on what I think is the value you're delivering, okay? Avoid mistakes by letting me build everything for you as I was doing it for my company, as if I was doing it for my company. And the next thing is, when you sign up, you'll access clientacquisition.io's promo cycle. Main thing that we like to do is we like to do a price increase promo cycle that took us from 80K a month to 180K a month. So if you're already doing like 80K a month, oh my God, please book a call, right? Because in May, so this is April last year, we went from 82K a month to 180K the following month in just less than 30 days. We more than 2x the company, right? We will try to get you this so you can actually make your money back as soon as you start working with us. And we've done this for many people, right? Steve, before he joined the hundreds, that's how he went from 20K to 40K a month. He leveraged this, and he closed 12K new coaching clients. So this works really well. But also something that I wanted to do this time around is I actually wanted to give our partners access to our setters, right? So what we'll be doing is every partner who's part of the hundreds never needs to go outside of being a partner to us to get talent when it comes to VAs. So setters, all that good stuff. So you get access to this. Of course, there is a cap as to how many people you can just onboard in a month. So that's just something to keep in mind. But you never need, if you ever need setters, we got you. So you don't have, so it's part of like, by you trusting us to scale you, you access all our assets. So if you need VAs to be trained on Facebook, Twitter, we'll just send them into our weekly training sessions that our audience of 21,000 setters go through. We've decided to make it available for our partners. Being part of the hundreds give you access to more setters than you'd need in a lifetime. And the other thing that we also needed to do is you get access to Serge chat, right? For those who don't know, Serge chat essentially allows you to 10x the productivity of your appointment setting team, which, it comes with templates. It comes with the same messaging we're using. It comes with the ability to sync all the profiles that you're using. It normally costs $250 a month. So it's not cheap whatsoever. I'm paying like $1,000 for my team for it, but you get access to it for free. And we're also going to be building out your CRM. So if you already have a CRM, then I guess we'll just show you the templates that we have, right? And then, but if you don't have it, like you're just using Calendly or these like smaller things, then we'll actually build out the whole thing for you, right? And another bonus is we're also going to be introducing paid acquisition for our partners, right? I didn't introduce Casey, but Casey is our new CMO. He comes from a background of helping companies scale through paid media. And we're going to be showing you guys the paid ad campaign that where I spent 13.5K over 90 days and generated over 1.4 mil in 90 days. We'll help you set it up, everything. And when you're ready for scale, we'll just scale you. Instead of you paying an agency and paying them blah, 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 and they can do nothing for you, we'll help you run everything, right? And then again, weekly management for your appointment setting team and sales team, client acquisition that a growth consultant will review and provide game plan weekly. So we've set up everything that we'll be doing for our clients. Every week, we'll map out the attention generating sales assets you need to create, assign your growth team or VAs the workflow needed to convert the leads. We repeat this weekly and follow the same process we use internally to average 100 calls per week. And we've booked over 2,000 calls in the last few months just for our offers. And this was mainly from literally turning cold traffic and outreach into booked calls, right? But the most valuable thing, in my opinion, of being part of the hundreds is the access you get to my leadership team, right? So Casey, I kind of like briefly go over his introduction. So again, before working with us, he ran his own company called Cortana. How do you say it, Casey? Is it
Cortana X.
Cortana X? Cortana X. Yeah, I love it. Which helped massive private equity and tech companies, as well as agencies and coaches with their sales and paid acquisition channels. He has also, done a lot of the stuff that you would kind of want someone who's scales revenue to be doing, which is VP of marketing of a tech firm called Marketer. And he's also done a lot of just, traditional sales stuff. And you also get access to Katie, right? So Katie, now COO, has worked with, she's worked with Bastion Slot before. I think Bastion is currently doing $1 million a month. Now we're working together. She's helped a whole bunch of other companies, also helped some of our members of the $500,000 program build systems. Now with the hundreds, you get access to her too. And then Gilles, Director of Ops. So he's, over the last 10 years, he's worked with management, customer success, marketing, operations, leading to top performing teams in all departments, from working with, small businesses to startups that ended up generating $500 million in revenue. So Gilles, before he joined the company, he was actually we worked together at our last 9 to 5, which was an e-commerce company that was doing, I think they got it to scale to $500 million. So like 500 million a year in revenue. So this is the kind of experience you get access to by being part of, because it takes talent to scale, guys. Like I know a lot of people on YouTube you may see someone using a Loom and a Google Doc and think that that's all you need to make a lot of money, but holy shit, do you need good people. You need some of the smartest and brightest people, in your company. When you guys look at me in my car 24/7 and on Looms, trust me, it's because there are people behind the scene doing the real work, right? And what I wanted to do with members like, clients like Steve and Bryce also is part of the hundreds, is give them access to the talent that I pay for a lot of money every month without them having to incur the cost that it would cost them to do, right? Like if you had to, like, literally the cost of just these 3 team members would cover like Steve's monthly revenue. Like that's how expensive people are, but you get access to them with the hundreds. You also access a private WhatsApp group with me. So I want to start a newsletter, but only for clients who are in this hundreds, where I share everything that I'm learning as I'm, just planning to scale client acquisition that I go plus 15 mil per year in the next 3 years. Fast track your growth by building your company the right way from the start. Share your thoughts and your own learnings with other partners. And also, we're going to be doing quarterly meetups, either at the penthouse, a little bit of wine nights, or somewhere around the world with other high-level entrepreneurs. I live in Canada, so I probably wouldn't want to do more than just one meetup a year in Canada. So I'll probably want to do it somewhere else, maybe Mexico, in South Africa, or maybe somewhere in Europe. And you're also going to be getting access to our sales and onboarding templates that we use to scale and fulfill for over $500,000 a month. So we're going to show you everything on how we onboard clients. And last but not least, guys, and this I'm excited for personally. I don't know about you guys, but the first 3 partners that join, we're actually giving them to come to our retreat for free, right? We take care of everything. 1 week in Spain, Marbella, accommodations paid for. And all you need to do is just come and learn, right? So we're going to be doing a lot of networking access. You're going to have a bunch of villas, private chef, blow up your personal brand. I think this is super important, especially in the world we live in. You're going to be accessing the 7-figure leverage mastermind coming up during the retreat. If you want to shoot a podcast with me, you can. But yeah, I've rented a whole bunch of villas, so everybody's going to get like a place to stay at for a week, and we're just gonna go have fun in Marbella, maybe a couple yachts. And if you don't drink, it's totally fine. You can sit here and build. I'll be working, but I'll also be kind of like living in the moment. I think I've worked hard enough this year. But yeah, guys, so you get access to this trip inclusive. Yeah. Now, just I want to go over the requirements. If you are this does not work if you're making less than 25 grand. It does not work if you don't have good case studies. It does not work if you don't have a process that generates results consistently for your clients. And if you cannot commit to a full year of work, it does not work either. So this is not a get rich quick. It's literally like get rich for sure, but like getting rich for sure takes time. And we only want to do with people who actually have good services, good products, and people who are patient, people who actually think they got a chance at pulling this off. So the goal is we help you transition to the 7-figure leverage consultant model. We build your acquisition, we build your sales systems, and consult you on how to structure your fulfillment so you can scale. And yeah, now this is something that I didn't mention, but if you've been a client in our other programs like $500,000 program and you're interested in the hundreds, you actually don't need to pay the 20K. You actually have a discount of what you paid when signing up. So essentially, all you have to do is just pay 10K and you get started on the hundreds ASAP. So you can use this link to sign up, and all you have to do is literally just pay 10K, and after that it's just 5K per month. And if you've never been a client, it's 20K because we have to do a lot of building up front. And after that, it's just 5K. And there is also rev share included. So if we scale you past 50, if we add an extra 50K, so the goal is to add an extra 50K in profit per month in revenue. And then anything on top of that, we take 10% because we want to have less clients on this and just make sure that we're making them the most amount of money. My goal is that for every client who kind of like join the hundreds, is minimum should be $250,000 per month. because for me, it's not worth my time if I'm not making at least 25, 30, 50K per client a month. So the goal is make you so much money that client acquisition that I ends up making a shit ton of money too, right? But this only works because for me, like 5K a month is not even the fee of, I mean, my God, like 5K a month is not worth our time. So if you don't have the potential to scale, we generally do not want you here, which is why in this hundreds, after 90 days of implementation, if we see that it's not working, we're actually going to shut down this partnership. Meaning, if we can't scale you and add a shit ton of money to your profit, to your bottom line in the next 3 to 4 months, we don't want you part of the hundreds. We're literally going to be like, hey, it doesn't work. Please, just go do your own thing. But the goal is we don't want you to join. That's why I only want to find people who have great case studies, because I know that great insights and great case studies are the easiest things to scale. If you are doing 50K a month or more, and you are serious and you're actually excited about this model, and you don't even need to speak with my team up front, you can use this link if you are one second, I'll show you. If you have not been a client, you can use that first one to buy right away. If you have been a client, you can use that link, the second one that I just sent, which is 10K, and you can buy right now. If we get on onboarding and we see that you're not qualified, we will refund you your money, right? Because we just want to make sure that we're working with the best people. Some of you guys may not have enough limit on your credit card if you don't have Amex, which is something you need to look forward to. So if you need to break up the payments, if you need this because it can't go one shot, then you can just DM me on Instagram or comment in the chat, and I can have someone reach out to you and we can help you out, right? But yeah, I'd love to answer some questions. I don't know if we have we have any questions. I'd love to answer some questions right now. Thank you, Reg. Rev share even after 12 months. If we keep working together, yeah, I mean, the goal is if you want to keep working with us after 12 months, then yeah, we would keep getting rev share from your company. Reg, can you give me access to the sheet? I just requested. You can put the questions in the chat if you so someone said how to know if we're at a good price point. I think the rule of thumb is charge 10% of the potential you can bring to a company. So if I know that that I can easily bring someone $1 million a year, then I think I would love to charge 10%, because it kind of like is a no-brainer. Would you not pay 100 grand to make $1 million? And the other thing is make sure that people can afford it. If you're selling to broke people, then yeah, it's kind of like pointless. How do you get rich people to trust you? You charge them like rich people would be charged. Would you trust someone who charges you $1,000? No, there's no trust there. Where do you find A players, team members that will take care? You become big enough that A players pay attention to you. You train your team to be competent. It's always best to get people who are already competent, to be honest. Yeah, you can train them and lead them. Will we get access to this stock after the Webby? Maybe. You'll never know. But how do you calculate those constraints? I mean, close your eyes and think. Can you close 100 clients this month? No. How many clients can you close? Really? Right? You look at how much time does it take for me to onboard a client? Oh, it takes me 1 week. Okay, cool. How many people can I onboard in a single week? Oh, I can only onboard one client. Well, you can only onboard 4 clients a month. That's your constraint. If you're closing at 10% and you're only getting 10 calls a month, the constraint is you can only sign one client a month, right? If you have 100 calls a month, then you can, maybe the constraint is up to 10 clients a month. If your closing rate is 20, then it goes from 2 clients for the 10 calls a month to, I think, what, 20 clients if you're 20% at 100 calls a month. So that's how you would calculate it. But I'll make another video around this. Question, should you still be charged high ticket prices even if you have no case studies? I believe I said go get someone who has case studies. How much do you, but why would you charge high ticket prices if you don't know how to do what you're trying to charging for? Wouldn't that be a scam? Imagine me coming here and asking someone to pay me 25 grand or commit 80 grand over the next 12 months, and I haven't done shit. I would never do that. It's like me trying to start with this hundreds offer in 2021. You would actually laugh at me, right? So how much do you charge for leverage consulting if you make your client 50K per month? 10%, 5K a month. Now, is it, if you're building them the infrastructure that makes them 50K per month, you can charge 10, 15, 20K, 25K, right? Because 500K a month, 500K, 50K over a year. I like to charge 10% of yearly of what I can bring in yearly. So if I can bring you 500K a year, I'd love to charge 10% of that, which is 50K. How does the client pay for the software costs, or do you cover them always? If you want to make a better offer, better value, include it. I don't charge clients for softwares. That's stupid. Can you tell us a quick story of how you started working with your talents? Reg, she had applied on a job post, and Haisam, we were friends on Facebook. Did you help them become who they are today, or they change their businesses in a positive way? I mean, they've been working with me for a long time, so they've grown as we've grown, right? So they've gotten better in 2 years with me, like I've gotten better, right? I'm doing 70K to 90K per month right now in my agency. How do I find leaders to build out and lead teams? I'm still in a bit of the sales and client success. I would get out of sales ASAP, and I would get out of client success. I would actually get out of client success faster than sales. Guys, client success is not a hard job, because you've already laid out the protocol. If you haven't laid out, then that's why you're still in it, because you haven't taken time to actually be leveraged. But if you take time to write down exactly how to solve a problem, even a kid can come in and solve it for your clients. So your time is not worth this. Find people who are better at it, who enjoy it, who enjoy consulting and solving problems, or maybe editing videos if you're like specific content, or if you're a paid ads agency, then find best media buyers. But how do you find people? I don't think you find people. I think you attract them. You become someone who's worth paying attention to, right? Like my best hires have never been people that I found on Indeed. It has always been people who came from my own audience. At what point would you suggest advice to switch from a high ticket done for you to service to the 7-figure leverage? I did it when I was making 30K a month. Because at 30K a month, you're doing good. You figure out how to sell something that people want to buy, right? So 30K a month, you can do the transition. You said, is the ACB offer still the same as in the YouTube video? I'll book a call with your team soon. Just a quick update. We're gonna stop selling ACB, but I'll share more in the next few weeks. But we're gonna start selling ACB, guys. Like, I can't be out here telling you guys that, hey, charge high ticket, and I'm charging 5K. I gotta take my own, I can't be teaching you something and doing something that's different. So ACB will not be existent by end of June. So yeah, you can book a call, you cannot book a call, it doesn't matter. But like, just so you know, this here is what keeps people poor. And I've kind of like swore to never be poor. So do you have something for people making less than 25K? Yeah, we have we have ACB and HAM right now. Should I keep cold calling or switch outreach? Is it rev share or profit share? Rev share. Should I cold calling or switch outreach? Uh, Today's Webby is not about this. I don't. And also, why would you ask this question without any context? I don't know what you mean. Should I keep cold calling or should switch outreach? I don't know. Should you do anything? I don't know. What drives you to go bigger and bigger? How we as business owners can replicate the $100 million mindset? You get good at it and you get paid when you're good, and it's just self, fulfilling thing. How long do you service your client with a 10K offer? It depends. You can fulfill for just 4 weeks. You can fulfill for over a few months. Doesn't matter. 90 days is good. 4 months is good. What would you say the top 3 things that separate people making 25K per month to those making less than 2? What? I mean, they just get better attention, and they have probably a better offer. What would you say the top 3 things? Okay, if you can't scale, will you refund the fee? Not the setup fee. But the goal is, not the setup fee, because our time is worth something, and we're building tangible. Like I'm not selling you like, oh, come in and you'll make $1 million profit. I'm selling you the building and the team that you need to actually get there. But this, I don't know who asked this question. I'd love to know how much money you're making per month. Because if you care more about the fee than the actual team, it's like me saying, hey guys, hey Katie, hey Casey, hey Jill, hey Reg, if we don't scale today, can I get the refund on the salary I'm paying you guys? Like, that's essentially what you're asking me. No, it's like when you're a business owner, when you're scaling, it doesn't matter. You're not worried about money you're losing. You're caring about the potential of the infrastructure that you acquire. And I think that's where most people fail at. They fail to see that when you're spending money, you're getting others to do the things that needs to be done to achieve success. When you are not spending money, then you only have to be the one who's focused about your success. So that's my advice. I don't know if anybody had any questions. I know that a lot of you guys may not be qualified for the hundreds, which is totally fine. And but I hope this webinar was helpful. Was it helpful, guys? Put it in the chat if this was something that was valuable for you guys. I'd love to get some feedback. And even though you're not doing, let's say 50K a month, and this would be a good fit for you, what did you guys think of today's Webby? And if you're watching this recording, tag me on your story when you're watching this. I think that would be really good for you guys to just share some love. And yeah, would love it. All right, cool, guys. So thank you guys for checking this out. See you guys on the next one. Ciao, guys. Bye-bye.